We're officially starting. Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready? Are you ready for this? Is it actually broadcasting? All right. I know somebody out there is watching, so get ready because we're going to get started. Come on up. Come sit in the front row. We got a crazy crowd here. This is probably the last time we're going to start at 6 o'clock, apparently. But I know we've got some people joining us online, so we just want to honor them for being able to participate. So, Chris is on the line. My mic is a little bit hot. So as we begin tonight, we're going to start. This first section is really just a section for us to explore, for those that really want to be part of Limitless as we're growing. We're going to be sharing a little bit about the vision, what we're doing. Most of you have been pretty immersed in Limitless, so you know a lot. But through these little bonus meetings, we want to teach you on some of the skills on how to build a business. And our intention is that you can take these skills that you learn, and whether you're helping us as we're building Limitless, as you're being an ambassador, or you're using these skills to build your own business, we intend for them to be useful and valuable. Laura, how you doing?
Good.
Now we can officially start. We can't ever officially start until you're here.
Thank you.
We just always expect you to be here. All right, so perfect. So we're going to need a handheld mic too up here, so when we're ready. So yeah, tonight it's going to be a very informal time right at the beginning. And the good thing is we got you here so we could get you in the front row.
Love the front row.
Awesome. So everyone, because there's so many people here, we can't reach you all. Just turn to the person next to you, give them a pat on the back and say, congratulations for being here.
Congratulations for being here.
Oh, Paul fell left out there. Someone.
Oh.
Hello, welcome. Hi. All right, perfect. So yeah, so we'll go through this little informal bonus training right now, and then when it gets a little closer to 7 o'clock, we're going to pause, and then at 7 o'clock we'll begin the actual event. So, but let's just jump into it because you're here and you're here early. I'm just going to open up with open Q&A. Have you ask whatever question you have about anything except for dogs, because I don't know much about dogs. Anything else, though? Like I pretty much know everything else. All right, so any questions?
So at one time, it was mentioned that there was going to be kind of a step between the Limitless and the circle, inner circle, for different levels. Is that going to happen, or anything?
Perfect. In terms of programs?
Yeah. Because, I have a lot of people that, going all the way to the inner circle is maybe too big of a leap from there.
Yeah, no, we totally understand. There is a huge gap between those that, want to participate, and the inner circle we understand is a fairly exclusive group just because it's a significant investment. So our intention is to serve people at all levels wherever they come, right? And so as we've designed Limitless, we really want to be able to support the masses through the tribe experience, right? And really be able to serve anyone, no matter where they're at with what they can do. And for those that want additional, more personalized support, we've got sessions that we've designed where they can do one-on-one work with the angels and stuff. And so we've got between a 30 and 90-day packages that they're able to get that. And those are kind of the base packages to support people in moving forward.
Do we know if those are available, how much they'll be, or those?
Yes, so they are available.
Okay.
And the strategists do offer them. And I think the prices range from about $1,000 to $3,000. For that. So it's very affordable, and what's great is that it also provides like one-on-one support for them as they're going through the process. So that in conjunction with the other experiences within the tribe for people that really want to have that additional support.
So how can we find out more about that?
Yes, perfect. So the strategists are the ones that offer that, but any of the angels can also talk about that as well. But yeah, that's great. And when someone comes to Limitless, basically, they when they meet with the strategist basically finds out where they're at and what they can do. And if they're not able to participate in the higher level programs, then they just figure out which of the other programs would serve them best. And the great thing is, just like everything within Limitless, it's all designed so that it's commissionable to, yeah, everything's commissionable.
Any idea? Is it a percentage?
So for the referring person, and this is important for those that are referring that want to be business partners with Limitless, the way that we've designed it is if you refer someone and they end up investing in one of the programs, you get 10% of whatever they invest in. So for the initial ticket price, you get 50% of what they pay, but then after that, you can get paid up to $2,500 to bring someone, and if it serves them to be part of that program, then you get paid. And then so let's break down that compensation plan a little bit for everyone, just so you can understand how the money part works for you as an ambassador, and how you can actually build some income with it. So yeah, I'll just break this down. So the beautiful thing about the partnership of Limitless with Strongbrook is that Strongbrook has this amazing network that they've been able to develop. I'm getting this like really weird echo.
This thing's echoing.
It's echoing from there.
The video projector.
We've got an echoing video projector. That's amazing. So because Strongbrook has built this incredible infrastructure. I mean, they've poured millions and millions and millions of dollars to build this infrastructure for Strongbrook, to help facilitate the real estate investing, and also to help in managing the network marketing side of the real estate business, as well as the mentoring network. So they've built this really complex and sophisticated tracking and affiliate program, right? And so basically it's set up as a network marketing. A lot of people have stuff about network. Has anyone ever had any junk in your mind about network marketing? Right? When you think network marketing, what do you think? What are the first words that come up for you? Amway, what else? What about for you? I'm putting it to you. So for you, when you think of network marketing, what's the block that you experience around network marketing?
Any of the, I think of a lot of different companies that they're using all of your friends to badger you into doing whatever, whether it's makeup.
Okay, so using your friends, badgering your friends to get them involved with that program. NFL?
No friends left?
No friends left.
Pushy.
Pushy. Okay, good. What else comes up with network marketing? Pressure. Okay. So network marketing done wrong is a very, very bad thing, right? The network marketing, and we've all been there with people that have tricked us into coming to some meeting, and then they're pushing, and then they're hounding us, and then they're trying to convince us of these products. And it feels like a violation of trust when someone tries to get us to do something that we don't want to do, and it's a product that we don't really care about, that we don't really like, okay? So on the other side of network marketing, it is, one of the most brilliant business models on the planet. Some of my greatest mentors, from Robert Kiyosaki to all of these other people, really believe that network marketing is one of the most powerful and lucrative business models in the world. There's a quote from, I think, J. Paul Getty, which said something like, I'd rather have 1% of the efforts of 100 people than 100% of the efforts of my own. Does it make sense? It's this idea of building a team. And so what's great about network marketing is it's really about this community. It's really about this team standing behind a product that is amazing, that you love, and that changes lives. And why not get paid for sharing it, right? Companies spend so much money on television and all these other forms of marketing, right? You think of how companies, they'll spend millions and millions of dollars trying to acquire new clients. Well, with network marketing, the whole idea is, why don't we take that money, and rather than paying the television, rather than paying, for paid advertising on Facebook or these other areas, why don't we take that money and just give it back to the people, right? And people are the most powerful form of marketing, right? Because it's that testimonial that comes from your friend that says, oh my gosh, this totally changed my life. You got to try it. That testimonial is worth way more than a television ad. So the idea of network marketing is let's empower, let's just pay the people that are helping us spread the message. Let's reward them for doing that. And the other great thing about network marketing is it's built on this principle that the more I serve someone else, the more I help them be successful, the more I'm successful. And the more I help the people they bring in be successful, the more I'm successful. So it's really based on the mentality that says the way to create wealth is to help more people. It's to what? Help more people. You want to create more wealth, you help more people. That's it. Right? So with Strongbrook taking the lead in network marketing and really investing millions and millions of dollars to build a foundation, as we've developed Limitless, we wanted to build it on that same principle because we know that the people who attend Limitless would refer it to other people just because they liked it. How many of you would, just by a show of hands, how many of you have been to Limitless? Raise your hand if you've been to Limitless. And keep your hands up. Would you share that just because you loved it? Right? Just because it impacted your life? Of course, right? Like anything that changes our life, we have a desire to share with other people we care about. But for us, in looking at the business opportunity and really looking at how we want the entire experience for the tribe to be one where lots of people succeed, where lots of people make money, where lots of people are able to create their limitless life. And for us, as we look at empowering our ambassadors, our vision is this: the more we can help you in being successful, the more we succeed. The more lives we change, the more people we're able to impact, the more difference we make on the planet. So our goal is to make it, number one, so it's lucrative for you, so that you are, excited to share. Number two, to make it so that the experience itself is unparalleled, so that they have an amazing experience when they come. So they're always thanking you for inviting them. And number three, to make it so that we can change as many lives as possible. And we know that the only way that happens is by the tribe, building the tribe. So with that, let me walk you through some of the details of the compensation plan so you can kind of see what that looks like. So with the $69 ticket, all of you have an opportunity to offer that ticket at any time. The code word at limitlessseminar.com, if they go to the website on their own, it's $499, okay? But if you offer them the code, which is limitless, which is all lowercase, then it takes it down to just $69, okay? Does it make sense? Everyone got that?
Yeah.
Everyone say, I got it? Got it. So $69 is the opportunity for them to come as your guest, which really just barely covers our cost for the experience. But this is our way of making it so it's simple, where it's low risk, and you can offer that code at any time. As tribe ambassadors, you have the ability to do that. You can anytime you want. You're talking to someone, it's like, oh, all right, let me get you registered. Take them to the website, get them plugged in right then, use that code, and then there's a little space on the thing which says who invited you. That's our way of tracking to make sure we know every person that comes to Limitless, we know who referred them to be there. Does that make sense? So that we can do all the appropriate tracking. Of that $69, when you are a registered IBD of the business, which you can register for free, IBD is the term for the independent business distributor. Is that developer? Independent business developer. The independent business developer, and once again, you can set that up for free if you don't know how. We can walk through that. But once you,
Do they need to check the box
Yes.
for them to get paid?
They want to be.
what do you mean?
Well, it says there's something about, there's an agreement and you need to agree to the agreement when you sign up. So usually when they're signing up for free, they don't check that, but if they sign.
Where's the microphone?
I hit it.
Can you use the microphone? Like, I can hear you fine. The people at home
Okay.
can't hear you.
So the question is, when somebody signs up for free, oftentimes you're just saying this is a free thing, and there's a box there that they check that says, I want to be an IBD or something like that. And if typically they don't want to check that box because you're saying it's free, and it says you're going to sign an agreement and stuff, and so they're hesitant to do that. So then do you have to go back to have them check that?
So
to get
here's the
paid?
deal. For you to get paid, you need to be an IBD.
Well, I'm an IBD. I'm not worried.
They do not need to be an IBD for you to get paid.
How about for them to get paid?
For them to get paid, they need to be an IBD.
Okay, so they need to check that. I guess how do you transition if you're talking to them? How do you transition? Because you're saying this is a free thing, you get all kinds of wonderful stuff, and they're saying, okay, great, and then they say, what's this box?
And you just say, hey, if you're interested in getting paid for referring other people, then click that box. If you're
Okay.
not interested, then don't click the box.
Okay,
Right?
cool.
But yeah, in order for you to get paid, you need to be an IBD.
Right.
And
And they
so,
do too.
yeah, what's that?
And they do too.
Not for you to get paid.
No, for
if
them
they
to-
want to get paid, they need to be an IBD.
Okay, very good.
Okay. So so basically for IBDs, of the $69, you'll get paid a $35 check for each person you register.
Okay. And does any of that flow up to anybody else?
On
that-
that first level, I don't know all the intricacies of that first level. Like, we intentionally stack that first level. Like, it's to pay out 50% on that. Like, it's kind of unheard of, right?
Yeah.
So there's not a lot of like additional levels, and I'm not the expert in terms of how that exact proportion works. But what I can tell you is you're not going to get rich on that part. Right?
Sure.
But when they come to the event, and once again, for our higher level coaching packages and everything else we created, if they invest in the Inner Circle, for instance, or some of the other programs, then the first level gets 10%. Does it make sense? So that's a $2,500 check that you'd receive just for inviting someone to be there. On the second level, and the third and fourth level, there's a $700 check for each of those levels. Does that make sense? So if you invite someone and then they invite someone else to come, you'd get paid $700 for them. So the vision is you'll.
If they do 25,000.
Yeah, for that program.
If they do 25,000.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly, for that program. If their friend, if the person you invite brings a friend and their friend invests in the Inner Circle and joins that, then you'd also get paid a $700 check. Does that make sense? So the first step in building the business is, number one, just invite as many people as possible. Be proactive in finding people that would benefit from joining and being part of the experience. And then there's always a certain percentage that will want to be involved in the higher level programs. And then there's a lot of people that it's not a match, and that's fine too. So on the first level, your goal is just to invite as many people. The second level is just to get your team and get the people you invite and see how many people they can bring, right? That's really the power of any network marketing is really supporting your team. All right, who else do you know? How many people can we get, to the next Limitless, and getting them to start making the list of all the people they know that they want to bring, and supporting them and bringing
So
them.
do we rely on the strategists to know the different 1,000, 2,000, 3,000?
Yeah, the strategists take care of all of the, just identifying like which program is right for them.
Okay.
Does it make sense? He smirks. So,
Well, when I met with the strategist, they went right to the $25,000 program, and they didn't say anything about the other ones. And then when I couldn't do the 25,000, I was like, oh, I guess I can't do anything.
so okay, that's great feedback, and that's something we're working on. Wileen?
How long ago was that you met with the strategist, though? Because
it last-
we didn't.
Not this one.
Okay.
But the one just before.
Yeah.
So that was all we offered then.
Well, there, yeah, and
We didn't have a lot of-
admittedly, there were some brand new strategists that were there at that time, and it was the first time that we'd even explored having that program. So it's getting more and more refined, and we're looking at building other products in. So there's going to be a lot more product offerings that we evolve through the Limitless family as we move forward. So that will be much more clear in the future in terms of other options other than that program. Does it make sense? But great questions. Any other questions coming up? All right, everyone turn to the person next to you, give them a high five and say, "You are limitless." I feel like we need to jump up and start dancing. So basically that's what that looks like. And so in a moment, what we're going to do is I'm going to be walking you through some basic skills for those of you that are interested in learning how to present, learning how to market, learning how to be more influential. So we're going to do that, but right now we need some energy in the room, so everyone get on your feet. Everyone get on your feet. And what we're going to be doing right now is we're just going to we're going to do some jumping jacks. Okay, ready? Ready, go. 2, 3, 4. Oh yeah, you feel that energy. Oh yeah, we're going to boost the energy in the room. You guys have had long days. Oh, we're going to get this party started. Okay, 5 more. Ready? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh yeah! All right. Now go and find someone that you do not know and tell them the most crazy place you've ever traveled. Your favorite place you've ever traveled to. Tell them about that. Ready? Go. All right, take one more minute. All right, everyone give your partner a high five and say, you are a powerful creator.
I've been searching, follow every step, every road, every single trace.
All right, that's better. We got a little more energy in the room. That's fantastic. Okay. All right, so we're going to go into a little bit of basic training right now. We're going to start by asking this question. Who invited you to Limitless, and how did they invite you? Like, what was the gateway for you to come to Limitless for the first time? So I want to have a couple of people share. Who wants to share? Go ahead and stand up, Jamie. All right, so we're going to do this Limitless style. What's your name?
My name is Jamie.
Hey, Jamie.
Hey, everybody. So
Nice.
it was actually my wife's coworker, her business partner, that just said, hey, I found this. It looks pretty good. She's planning on coming in January. And so she said, told us about it, and we said, okay, we're going to go. Actually, my wife said we were going to go, and and I'm glad I came.
So she hadn't even come yet.
No, she's working with someone, I don't remember who, doing some mentoring with them, and then found out about the Limitless product and shared. And so.
So,
and go ahead.
so for you, like, what made you decide to come? What was it specifically that made you think, all right, I want to go check it out. I want to go try it?
For me, initially, I was going to support my wife. She wanted to come. She saw something there that she said, this is going to be good.
Guys,
And-
can you relate to this?
Go on.
I just want to go to support my wife.
But I think that the thing that really sold us on Limitless was that this is our journey together. And so that that the encouragement of having both of us coming, with the buddy pass kind of thing and everything, that was a really big deal for me. Said, okay.
Okay, perfect. So for you, when you look back at the person that invited you, like, what are your feelings for that person for giving you that invitation?
Oh, I'm very grateful. For me, it was an incredible experience. And so.
Do you remember, like, what specifically they told you? Was it just like, hey, I checked this out, it looks awesome, you
That's
should come?
really what it was just check this out. This looks awesome. And the fact that she was going, it wasn't that she had already gone. She was going. And so, and it looked good to her. It looked that, and she was going with her husband. And so that was the value. Someone else found something that looked good, and you share that message.
Perfect. So I want you to check, like, we're going to have a bunch of shares right now, but I just want you to listen. The key is simplicity. Don't overcomplicate it. Don't even think that it's hard, right? It's just easy to share. It's just like, oh my gosh, this was really great. Like, for her, it wasn't like I had even been. It's just like, hey, this looks awesome. I'm going. You should go too. For those of us that have gone, it's just like, wow, this is really powerful. You should go, right? You don't even need to go into any of the details unless you're talking to an oracle, right? Right?
And so does the $69 cover Buddy? I mean, you can bring a guest as well?
So when they register on the website, after they register, it takes them to a thank you page, and they can register a guest as well.
Okay. And if they don't know who they're going to bring, could they just put a name in and then change it, or how does that work?
They can go back to that page later.
Okay.
And there's going to be emails that go out that say, hey, have you registered your guest yet?
Okay, great. Very
Yeah.
good. Thank you.
Good. All right. Who else wants to share how you first heard about Limitless? I want to get a lot of shares. All right. So go ahead and stand up. What's your name?
Hi, everybody. My name's Kara Brandt.
Hey, Kara.
Good to see everybody. So this is kind of a funny story. I joined Strongbrook and somehow got a free ticket to one of Gerald's Live Big events. How many went to Live Big before it was Limitless? Okay. So discovered a really deep missing piece to my healing puzzle, and it sent me on this like several months nosedive to
I love
doing
when you
just.
tell this story.
I
came to live big and I went on this nosedive for months.
And it was the best experience. It was the best, such a big blessing for me, but it was definitely a lot of processing, and I'll always thank Gerald for that nosedive.
You're welcome.
And I hit my base, and like, anyway. So several months of processing, and I got in this really good place, and then my friend Roxana, who knew I was part of Strongbrook, she had just joined Strongbrook, and she came to one of my Reiki classes, and she said, Kara, it's totally different. You have to come to Limitless, and it was the one in September. I said, I'm not going there again. I just found like this really great place, and I am not doing that again. And but that little voice inside just said, you belong there. And so I went, and it was, again, like super life-changing, and I haven't nosedived. I don't know, not skydived.
Skyrocket.
Soared, skyrocket. There we go.
Skydived. Ever since then, I've skydived.
That's kind of what it's like. No, I'm just kidding. I don't want to scare anybody. But I totally skyrocketed, because sometimes you have to hit rock bottom to bounce back up, right? And I came with a totally different mindset, and I was ready. And the rest is history. Limitless is my family, and I'm not going anywhere anytime soon.
So for you, like, what were the specific things you were looking for when you decided to go to Limitless?
Something that would take me to the next level. Something that I felt like I was really ready to spread my wings. I was ready to share my message.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been preparing to fulfill my mission and my purpose. And it's funny, I kind of had this vision of these type of events and how I'd be using my gifts on stage. And then Chris, and you explained Limitless to me, and I was like, oh, the heavens open. And I knew I found my place, and it really just locked in for me. And so I just feel really blessed to be here. So,
Awesome.
yeah.
My absolute favorite is like when people come to Limitless or step into coaching and they say, the reason why I'm here is because I had a dream and I had a vision that I love when God becomes one of our referral partners. I still haven't figured out how to send him a check, because he's sent a lot of people our way. But it's like really profound how people that are deeply intuitive, they just know. It's like, oh, yes, I have to be there. I don't even know why. I can't tell you how many times I hear this. I had no idea why. I just knew I needed to be there. And deeply intuitive people, that's all they need, is they just need to feel that. So let's get a couple more shares. Where else did you hear about Limitless for the first time? All right. All right, what's your name?
My name is Jen Gedge.
Hey, Jen.
Hello. So just like you just said, there are people that just have those experiences where they see something and they know that that's just where they're supposed to be and they don't know why. I saw a video in a group I'm in, totally not related to this, of a girl who went last month and really enjoyed it. She didn't say anything about what it was, which really infuriated me because I'm an oracle and I need the details. So I kind of looked at it. I watched it a couple times, trying to get more information that
So it was a
wasn't there the
video
first
that you
time.
watched?
What?
It was a video you
Yeah,
watched?
somebody stood in front of the Limitless sign and said, you have to be here, like selfie style, and it was Malia. Cool. Yeah, I don't know her. I've never met her. I don't know. But the power of video is real, because you can say what you want to say in words, but until people feel your energy and they feel, your just brightness, I guess, through that aspect, you don't really know, is that where I'm supposed to be? I think if I had just read it, I would have been like, meh. But I saw her, she was glowing, and I was like, I need that glow. I don't know what, but I got to be there. So
I gotta glow.
she had a
I
glow.
gotta glow. I gotta go because I gotta glow. So what was it specifically that you were looking for when you came?
I've in March I started coaching health and fitness type stuff, and the the company that I do that through really pushes personal development is like their main thing. They don't, personal development and building relationships with other people is their main thing. It's like the fitness and the health is kind of secondary to those two things. So work on yourself so you can then help other people. And so I kind of dove into personal development, and I've never done it before. I'm scared to work on me, but I was in a place where I was ready for the next step. And just reading books for me doesn't really help me. It gives me ideas and things, but it's just not, like I need more. So doing something interactive and meeting other people who want the same thing, that's what drew me in.
Perfect. Thank you. Give her a big round of applause. So let's get some really quick shares from as many people as possible. What are specific things, and Wylene's going to share real quick, but I want you to be thinking, what are specific reasons that someone goes to a workshop, a seminar like Limitless? Like, what is it that draws someone out of the comfort of their home into a space with all of these crazy people doing crazy things? Like, what is it specifically that people are looking for? So I'm going to have Wylene share, but then I want every one of you to like really contribute and think, why do people go to workshops or seminars like this?
Just before we got on to that, I just wanted to point out almost everybody that shared, what was the reason why they came, said I was in a place where I was ready. And so I just wanted to draw your attention to that, because everybody that we invite isn't going to be in that place where they're ready. And so it's okay if somebody says no, or if it's okay if somebody doesn't call you back or whatever. So keep asking and look for those people that are in the place where they're ready, because they're out there and they're waiting for you to ask.
Yeah. Awesome. Give her a big round of applause. Who's experienced this? Who, like, when you decided to go Limitless, like, it was just time. You knew you were ready. Raise your hand if you... Okay, I just want to check in. And how many of you know that there were other times in your life where you would not have been ready? And this is what's super important, as we're understanding, as we're inviting people to be part of this experience, it's not the right time for a lot of people. And the people that we want to have it Limitless are the people that want to be there. The people we do not want to have it Limitless are the people that want to be somewhere else, The people that aren't ready to take on their life. They're not ready to experience it. Unfortunately, like the processes are pretty good about filtering people out, by the afternoon of the first day, all the people that don't want to be there, they're not there anymore. It's fantastic. It's fantastic. So that the people are there are like really ready to experience transformation. All right, Jamie? Oh, sorry, what did you... Like, I just wanted to save the best for after Jamie. All right, sorry, I didn't know you had the microphone. I apologize.
Well, I just wanted to say, when I came, I wasn't ready, but when I sat down, I read, and I was listening, I told my wife that I'm approaching this with an open mind.
Yeah, that's huge.
And I think that's the big thing, is when you're ready, you're open. And sometimes people, they're not ready yet, but as long as they're willing to be open, that's what happened for me.
Yeah.
I was open, and I had an amazing, this was amazing for me.
Yeah.
And so I think that's what people need, as long as they're willing to be open.
Yeah.
And share that. Say, hey, when you go, be open.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's funny, because I had this experience at a workshop that I led just a short while ago. I think it was at the Live Big that you were at. And there was this guy that was there, and his arms were crossed the whole time. And we do all these processes, and he was just sitting back there. He was just like all like scowl-faced, and I'm like, oh boy, this guy, I don't know. But he was there with his wife, and he's just sitting there, and he's just like, and like all these interactive processes, we're trying to get them engaged. He's just like, I'm not doing it. Like, he was so resistant. And then at the third day, he stood up and shared this testimonial, and he's like bawling, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I completely misjudged you. Like, I completely misjudged him, because he was receiving everything that he needed, and for him that was such a profoundly life transforming experience. But from the outside, he was like, right? It's so funny, because we sometimes have a perception of where other people are at, don't we? We sometimes prejudge their experience, and so because of that, we might not share. We're like, oh no, this isn't right for them. oh no, they'd never get something. Like, stop judging people. Stop prejudging. Stop limiting your willingness to share because you are creating a story about what they're ready for and what they're not ready for. You'll be amazed. You'll be amazed that some of the people that you think are most ready for it, they're not. And some of the people you think are least ready for it is like, oh my gosh. Like it completely, radically changes their life. So let's just get really quickly a share from Wendy. You have the microphone?
Yeah, I do.
All right, what's your name?
My name is Wendy. Thank you. So Gerald actually invited me. I came all by myself, which was a big deal for me. I took that leap of faith and just trusted. There was something about Gerald that was just so warm and inviting and friendly, and trusting. And so, but I've just been grateful because just door after door is opening, and as I be brave and walk through those doors and trust the process, amazing people I'm meeting, and just my relationships, just with my family, myself, are just expanding and growing, and it's been quite a journey. So I'm glad to continue it.
Awesome, thank you. All right, so we're going to go into Marketing 101. So regardless of what business you have, here's some marketing fundamentals to understand. So as you're building your business, whatever you're sharing, whatever you're offering, it's critical you understand these things. Number one, who is your ideal target audience? Who is your ideal target market? Your ideal target market is the person who, what? Wants what you have. The person who is most likely to buy your product or service. Your entire purpose in your business, your entire goal is to understand two things about your audience. You want to understand their demographics and their psychographics. Demographics, write this word down, demographics. Demographics is what? What are some examples of demographics? Age, gender, location, vocation, sex, marital status, income. What else? Geographic location, where they live. So the demographics is everything measurable about that person, everything that can be demonstrated. Like it's a very, very specific and measurable thing. The other thing is the psychographics. What's it called? Psychographics. Psychographics. So what are psychographics? Understand the psychographics. Psycho means mind. Graphic means picture. So just imagine you're taking a picture of their mind. So what are some examples of psychographics for a target audience? What are the stuff they like? What are the personality types? What drives them? What motivates them? What are they afraid of? What do they already buy? What are other examples of psychographics? Their preferences, their passions, their values. So psychographics at the core, you want to, like, with demographics, write this down. If you cannot define them, you cannot find them. So in regards to traditional marketing, you need to understand your target market so you know where you can go attract them, like where they're at. And so you can identify when you're dealing with the right person, right? With psychographics, really it's about understanding their mind so you know how to communicate with them, so you know how to influence them, so you know what turns them on and what turns them off. So as we talk about psychographics right here, we're going to be talking about it as it relates to Limitless, where we're going to be really kind of creating a picture of the person who is most likely to buy personal development, right? And how many of you, just by a show of hands, either right now or in the future, have a coaching or speaking business? Okay, so quite a few of you. So that business is dependent upon you understanding the psychology of what causes someone to invest time, energy, and money into being part of something. Okay, So we're going to look at a very simple question, which is, what is it that motivates someone to attend a workshop or seminar, or what is it that brings someone to come to an experience where they're going to be growing and learning? So what are specific things that people are looking for? We're just going to go through and have as many of you share as possible. Change. So they want change in their life. So where might they be frustrated? In order to come to Limitless, what are areas that they want to change? They want to change their relationships. So notice, wherever there's pain, people want to change. Pain is the gateway for transformation. You see someone in pain in their relationships, who's like, wow, this would really help you. Where else? Finances, right? They're struggling financially. They're feeling stuck financially. They're feeling broke. If they're experiencing pain there, it's a great opportunity for them to grow. Where else? Depression. Good. What else? Health. What else? Connection. What else? What other pain are they experiencing in their life? Major life transition, change, evolution, a breakup, a divorce, a loss of a job, feeling uncertainty in terms of their life. Anytime they're feeling uncertainty, that's going to motivate them to seek out transformation. Right? And so as I'm saying these things, I want you to be thinking about who in your life do you know that's going through change or transformation? Who in your life do you know that is experiencing pain in any of these areas? Just raise your hand if you know anyone that's experiencing pain in any of these areas. Right? Really, it's just, our job is just to be curious and seeing, okay, like who's looking to solve their problems? That's a beautiful thing about a product like Limitless is it solves so many different problems. Like it really is a holistic approach to healing. Okay, so being able to seek for change, looking for transformation is one reason why people come to an event or seminar. Why else are they coming to a seminar? Love, okay? So really look at this and look at the experience that you have when you come to Limitless. How many of you experience like this amazing sense of connection and love with other people there? Right? And how many of you just like crave that? Like I think this is so foundational to the experience. Like we go because we want connection. We want real, authentic connection. And just by a show of hands, how many of you notice that the connection you're able to experience at Limitless is a pretty special place? Right? And this is huge. Like this is something that people that go to any seminar are going to experience some level of connection with like-minded people. But at Limitless, we really focus on creating this tribe, creating this community of people who thrive on authentic, deep, meaningful connection. So people are going to be looking for that. People are going to look for connection with themselves, with others, and who else are they looking for connection with? They're looking to experience more self-love. And they might not state that. They might not even realize that, but deep down, that's what we're all looking for. We're looking to understand ourselves better. We're looking to really know who we are and learn how to love ourselves. So what are other reasons that people go to a workshop or seminar?
I think that's very true. When I was talking to people before, when I was talking to people before they went in and just asking what they were hoping to get out of the seminar, that was probably the number one response that I got. I just want to find out. I need to know more about what my purpose is. I'm trying to just kind of get things figured out. So that was a huge one. And then what was your question? Because I know I had another.
So yeah, what other specific things that people are looking for when they come to a workshop or seminar?
Oh, education. Some people just love to educate their minds, just expand, always constantly growing. So even if they're not looking for something specific, it's just they just have this thirst for knowledge.
Yeah, perfect. So being able to like learn, grow, expand. So the people that are most like, when we look at our ideal target audience, the person who is most likely to come to a workshop or seminar, it's basically this person. And when you focus on your business and identifying we call them your client avatar, the person who is your ideal target audience, it doesn't mean that you can't serve everyone else too, right? If your ideal target client is a 55-year-old woman who is a grandmother, it doesn't mean you can't serve a 25-year-old man just getting out of college, right? It doesn't mean that you can't serve them. It just means you're focusing your marketing message on her demographics and her psychographics. Does that make sense? So for us, the ideal client for someone that comes to Limitless is someone that is seeking for growth and transformation. Most of our clients are middle-aged. Most of them are going through life transitions. Most of them have been involved with a lot of things in the past, and they're just looking for the next level. Most of our clients, they're natural growth seekers. This typically isn't the first seminar that they've ever been to. If it is, fantastic, but for most of them, they've been around, they've done other things in the past, but they're really hungering for the next level. They're looking for something deeper. They love education. They believe in the value of investing in themselves. They see how important it is for them to continue to grow and improve. We're looking for people that are committed to showing up authentically, that really want to create holistic transformation in their life. So people that are looking for holistic transformational education are people that are also interested in, sometimes alternative health stuff, sometimes they're interested in things like doTERRA, sometimes they're interested in other, they tend to be more entrepreneurial minded than other people. Does that make sense? Any seminar you go to, there's going to be a high portion of the people that are entrepreneurs. Why is that? Because entrepreneurs like to grow. Entrepreneurs know that they take accountability for their life and they're looking to expand, and they know that they are their most valuable asset. So that's kind of the mindset of a lot of the people that come. And even the people that aren't currently entrepreneurs, they have an entrepreneurial mindset. Does it make sense? So anyways, right now what I want you to do is I want you to turn to the person next to you, and I want you to share with them about why you love going to workshops and seminars yourself. And I want you to share with them also who invited you to come to Limitless for the first time. So go ahead and share with the person next to you. Ready, begin. gentlemen, give your partner a high five and say you are limitless. All right, everybody on your feet, on your feet. So we're officially starting in 4 minutes, and so right now, just get your wiggles out, start dancing, connect with the people around you. We're starting in 4 minutes. We're starting in 1 minute. All right, everyone begin finding your seats. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Welcome to tonight's Tribe Night. All right, fantastic. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, welcome to tonight's Tribe Night. How many of you guys are excited to be here tonight? Let me hear some noise. Oh, come on, I said let's hear some noise. Awesome, that's more like it. And tonight is going to be a fun night. We're going to be talking about a lot of powerful principles. We're going to be talking about some goal-setting principles. We're going to be talking about you creating a 30-day challenge we call the Limitless Leap. And we're going to be teaching about how you can live your limitless life. Everyone, since I cannot reach you all, just turn to the person next to you, give them a pat on the back and say, congratulations for being here. So we love these evening experiences. It's a much more informal experience than we have at Limitless. It's an opportunity for us to just really relax, have fun, take you through some processes, and really get to explore what it looks like for you to create a limitless life. For those of you that do not know me, my name is Gerald Rogers, and I've been doing facilitating workshops for the last 8 years. Have had the blessing of being able to work with thousands of individuals across the country through the workshops and seminars I've done. And what we've created with Limitless is, to me, something that's so special and so dear to my heart. Like, for me, it's like the evolution of so much of the work that I've been immersed in. And I just feel so grateful that I have an opportunity to play with Chris Crone and all of our other Limitless angels in our tribe in creating this. So tonight, we're going to have an opportunity to hear from quite a few of you as you get to share your Limitless experience. How many of you were at this most recent Limitless? Let me hear some noise. Sweet. So I want to hear some breakthroughs. And how many of you came to a previous Limitless? Awesome. And who has not yet been to Limitless? Notice. Woo-hoo! Yeah, that was a cue. You need to add that. Woo! We haven't been. We have no idea what these people are doing. Who are these weirdos? What have I got myself into? Well, just wait. Just wait. That's my. I seriously, I love this. Because a lot of people come to Limitless and they have no idea why they're there. They just have a friend that says, "Trust me, it's amazing. Just go." And so, on this total blind faith, they show up at Limitless. And then within the first hour, they're like crying and they're looking people in the eyes and they're experiencing these like great. They're like, "What on earth have I gotten myself into?" And it's so fun because we get to witness what happens over the next couple days. How many of you, when you first came to Limitless, you really had no idea what you were in store for, right? You have no idea. And by the end of the third day, to watch people like completely, their masks fall off, their walls shed, them to step into this brilliant, bold, and powerful space. To be able to see videos of people that have been through it, like Jen was talking about, Jen Getch was talking about how she saw this video and she saw this lady that had been to Limitless and she was just glowing, right? And she was like, "I want that glow. I want that glow." And so it was really powerful to watch people go through the transformation from the moment they step in, having no idea what on earth they've gotten themselves into, to by the end being so confident and so powerful and so connected with each other. And one of the things I love most about Limitless is seeing the tribe connect, seeing people connect authentically and be able to really engage and to be able to develop some of the richest and deepest friendships. How many of you, like when you came to Limitless, like you found some of the deepest and best friendships of your life there? Awesome. So what we're going to do is we're starting tonight. We're going to actually crank up the energy a little bit. You're going to have an opportunity to connect with someone that you do not know. And what I want you to do is everyone go ahead and stand up real quick and go ahead and connect with someone that you do not know. Go ahead and meet a new friend. Quickly and quietly move around the room, find a new friend. Okay, quiet. Shh. If you do not have a partner, raise your hand. If you do not have a partner, raise your hand and keep your hand up until you find a partner. Okay, keep your hand up until you find a partner. And then once you have a partner, just be quiet. Shh. Okay. All right, so everyone should have a partner. If you don't have a partner, just keep your hand up, keep looking around the room till you see someone else that has, give them eye contact, give them the finger that says, "You're it, you're my partner." All right, perfect. Listen up, quiet. Shh. All right, just take a moment. Look at your partner. Take a moment to just take a big deep breath in. So in a moment, you're going to have an opportunity to connect with them, and you're going to be able to share something that you might not always get to share, but you're going to share with them the thing that you are most proud of in your life right now. So you're just going to be able to share, just for this moment, the thing in your life that you're most excited about, that you're most passionate about, that you're most proud of. And we're going to have the person with the shortest hair begin. Ready, go. All right, everyone stop. Shh. So if you were to rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being totally passionate, excited, like really, really, passionate versus, 0 being like dead, like where would you rate yourself? I'm just curious.
Right there.
Where? Just give me a number. 9? Awesome. Where? 3? Wow. We got between 3 and 9. So if you're talking about something you're totally proud of, totally passionate about, something that you are just so excited about, at what level do you think you're going to share it? How many of you think you can share level 10? Right, level 10 doesn't mean you have to scream, but you might want to let your face know. Ready, begin. And for those of you that are at home, go ahead and type in the bar, what are you most excited about in your life right now? What are you most proud about?
My sister has purple. She has pictures of your guys' book.
All right, 20 more seconds. All right, everyone stop. Shh. Go ahead and switch. Next person. Go ahead and share what you're most passionate, excited about, proud of in your life right now. And once again, for those that are at home, go ahead and type in the bar, like, what are you experiencing? What are you learning? All right, 20 more seconds. All right, everyone stop. Go ahead and give your partner a high five and say, "You are limitless." All right, go ahead and quickly, quietly find your way back to your seats. right, perfect. Well, so tonight is going to be an evening of breakthroughs and experiencing what it means to live limitless. In a moment, you're going to have an opportunity to hear from our visionary founder, Mr. Christopher Crone. Before we do, we've got this special video that we want to play for those of you that haven't been to Limitless, so you can understand what Limitless is all about.
You say you want a better life. You say you want more money, a better job, a better marriage, more intimacy, a better body, more health, a better life. But you have to do something different if you expect something different. 3 days can change your entire life. 3 days to discover your limits, and 3 days to break free, break through, and become limitless. I know what the world tells you, that you can't do it, that you're not good enough, that you're not worthy, that you don't know how, that your income can't grow. Discover how wrong they are and how you can step through the looking glass into a world where your dreams can become inevitable. We tell our children the sky's the limit while you hit your head on your own ceiling. You have this one life right now. Do not repeat last year's results, last year's battles, last year's income. Stop creating more of what you don't want. Limitless is your opportunity to replace false and limiting beliefs with limitless possibility so you can claim the life you want. There is a blueprint to get everything you want: unconditional love, purpose, fulfillment, wealth, health, happiness. It's time to embrace your birthright.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, get on your feet for the one and only Mr. Christopher Crone! All right.
So, Clem, what year did we get married? It was 03? 02? 01. Just making sure I get the story right. Keeping an eye on you, Glenn. You still got the right answers. I will not name all my children's birthdays. But I know that I have 4. And they're roughly spaced 2 years apart, and the oldest is 9. Right? Right? So I was thinking about getting married, 2001. The next year I started working full time. And my first year working, I was working my buns off. I was going to school full time. And that first year, I'll never forget receiving that slip from the company that said, "This is your W-2." And I looked at the figure of full-time work, and I made $18,792. And you know what? For a college kid, I was stoked. That was amazing. And on the other hand, I was climbing deeper and deeper into debt. And I thought, man, that is not a really good number. Like, I don't really know what $18,000 is, but it's not enough. Anyone here ever felt that way before? So I was in a space to do something kind of crazy. I just said, you know what? Next year, that is such a pathetic number. I'm going to double that number. And so that was the intention that I set, and then I worked hard for the year. And then you know what happened the next year on my W-2? It showed that I made over $40,000. What did that do to my belief? it reinforced it. Was that evidence? Well, listen, for a young, dumb college kid that still doesn't have a lot of ideas in his head, just seeing that I could double that income, I decided, you know what I should do next year? I should double it again, because now I know what $40,000 a year tastes like, and it tastes better than $18,000 a year, so I bet $80,000 tastes better. And you know what happened that next year? It doubled. And you know what happened the next year? It doubled. And you know what happened the next year? It doubled. And you know what happened the next year? I got terrified. And I said, there's no way I can double that number. That number is getting way too. So, by the way, who decided that they could double their income in 2002? I did. And it was like this idea that was just like, I could totally do that. I will rock that out. But when I got to 5 years later, the idea of doubling my income, I remember looking at all that money and I was thinking, there's no way that I can double that. And you know what happened that next year? My income was identical to the year before. I reached my barometer. I reached my cap. How many of you have reached your cap? How many of you are producing roughly the same-ish this year as last year? Plus or minus. How many of you are doing this year the same as last year? How about diet and body? How many of you are kind of doing the same-ish this year as last year? Right? If you were to take two pictures and compare them, you'd be like, yeah, a year passed, right? How many of you look at your marriage? Does your marriage look the same-ish this year, for those of you that are married, from last year? You see, it's an interesting thing about being humans. We find our comfort zone. We find our limit zone. We find this cap of where we get comfortable, and then we settle in. Because when it's not enough, our belief system says what? We can do better. But then when we get to that point where it's like, oh man, this is my ceiling, then what do? Do we ever go past our ceiling? Why don't we? Like, what if we're at our ceiling and then it's like, okay, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get another job, and I'm just like, I'm going to work harder, and I'm going to try harder, and I'm going to go to the gym extra hard. But like, once you hit that ceiling, it's like kunk, kunk, kunk. And like, there's no way, it doesn't matter how hard you try. You just keep hitting that ceiling. How many of you have experienced that? Yeah. How do you like living life with this idea that you are limited? How do you like living life with this idea that what you are pretty much at in your life is pretty much where you are going to stay? Like, what do you think about that idea? Like, what kind of emotions come up for you when you have that thought? Someone willing to share? What does that do for you?
It makes me extremely frustrated and angry.
Okay, so frustrated and angry.
Right.
Okay, who has a different response? Hey, la la. Thank you.
I get kind of sad and depressed. Like, this sucks.
Okay, so there's a different emotion there, one of depression. Okay? By the way, how many of you here in this room, when you hit a ceiling and then you try to break through it and you stay at that ceiling and then you try again, and in time you actually develop evidence that says there's no way I'm breaking through that ceiling? How many of you go to either anger, frustration, sadness, or depression? How many of you do that? Yeah, dude, we all do. Like, welcome to the human condition. It's just like, this is so weird. So you're basically telling me that once I become an adult and I basically settle in with my barometer, that like my life is cast in stone? Does anyone else find that kind of disgusting? Can you just do me, like, do the disgust and do the blah? Like, man, I don't want that. And so I found myself going on a journey. I started attending seminars and classes and working with mentors. And believe it or not, I have spent hundreds of thousands of dollars seeking and searching for a way to shatter the glass ceiling, if it was really possible. And something happened in my life where I finally started easily and effortlessly breaking through those ceilings. The money ceilings, it all of a sudden became open air and open sky. My relationships, we stopped fighting about the same stuff. And like, we found a way to move past it. And like, basically all the areas in life where I got stuck, I found that there was a secret, a cure-all to push through them. And friends, that's what Limitless is about. It is about sharing an idea that if you stick with it, it is profound enough to change the results in your life. And we call that Limitless. What do we call it? Limitless. And we put on these 3-day events nearly every single month. Our next one is poised at the end of January, the 21st through the 23rd. And we are producing some really amazing results. In fact, we've got a bunch of you here that actually have been to one of our recent Limitlesses. And today we're going to be talking about this idea of what we call a limitless leap. But what I'd like to do in a moment is I'd like to take an opportunity to hear from some of you to share what your experience was like. Like, what did you break through? What were the ceilings in your life that you found the way to break through? Now, before I invite you to do that, we're just going to play one other quick short video here, which is just a combination of some of the recent footage that we've gathered from you at our events, sharing your experience.
What I'm going to tell you is going to blow your mind.
Money started coming in from all kinds of places that I would have never expected.
Seeing the success that I've had just within the last 3 days, I've had people calling me like all over the place wanting to work with me.
This is what it feels like to actually sleep, to feel refreshed, and to feel powerful, ready to face the day. No barriers. They welcomed me in, and I shared my idea, and they love it, and we're going forward.
These 4 areas that you see on the wall here, I know that it begins with me.
Every day with a new breakthrough with each other, and it's been miraculous is the only word I can use.
Limitless has made an incredible difference in my life, and the most important difference is not in my relationship, it's within myself.
Opportunities have just started coming to me freely.
Going through them breakthrough sessions, I caught up to the business, and now it is exploding.
Limitless is so true. It's such an amazing concept.
As of Wednesday, I was writing speaking contracts for $500. As of Monday, I was writing speaking contracts for $10,000.
I'm doubtful and skeptical and, prove it. Well, we proved it.
I was able to make that choice, make that decision, and I stand here like 65 days later, 45 pounds lighter.
And they changed to the tune of how much in the last 30 days?
$33,000.
Friends, give it up. So who are my stars of that show? Who's in this room that was actually in that video? Stand up for just a second. Give it up for these amazing people. Awesome. Thank you. I just want to take a moment and let's just hear from a couple of people what you experienced at this last Limitless before we move on with the evening. Who would like to share? Give us your name.
My name's Bonnie.
Hey, Bonnie.
Hi, everybody. So for a long time, I've had this way of motivating myself and doing the good work that I do in my life with a lot of rules for myself. And lots of times they're really good ideas, but then I bind myself to them and they turn into anxiety and blah, blah, blah. And so at Limitless this last weekend, I let go of my rule book. There are no more rules for me.
Wow. All right, who else wants to share from this last week their experience? What's it like being married to a woman with no rules?
That's what I just wanted to mention. I was at work. She came home and it was like, well, hon, let me introduce you to the new me. I said, again? Because she's been to the last few of these, and that's happened each time. And again, it was just like the next Monday, she was somewhat sitting there trying to figure out, okay, what do I do now? Because I'm a different person. I don't have the rules, so what am I choosing? And just since then, a few days since this last weekend, it's like, okay, I'm getting to know like a new wife. It's an amazing experience.
Thank you. Thank you. Let's just get a couple more. Go ahead, Amy.
Hey, I'm Amy.
Hey, Amy.
So if you guys would have met me in September, you wouldn't have recognized me. I hope, anyways. No, I'm confident you would not have recognized me because in September, I was suicidal. I was stuck in an abusive marriage. I was suffering from an event that happened to me when I was 18 that I still was unable to face. I came to Limitless in September knowing that it was either that or I was going to be gone. I wasn't going to be here anymore. Since then, and since this last this last Limitless, I can't even tell you the joy that every single day brings me. When I wake up, I am excited for every day, and I just think like every day, okay, what is the awesome thing that I get to break through today? And it's just so excited. Like, I just love my life now. And just since this last Limitless, from different breakthroughs I went, I've released 5 pounds, not doing anything, just because I decided, you know what, I love my body. And when I made that choice, my body decided to show up for me, and it's amazing.
Wow, thank you. Awesome. Now let's just grab one more. Someone else willing to share?
Hi, I'm Michaela.
Hey, Michaela.
The week of the last Limitless, I had a really big breakdown, and my husband had gone to the Limitless before, and he was just telling me, like, this weekend, like, you need this really bad. And so I knew, like, I was at that ceiling, and I didn't feel like I could progress. I felt like I was kind of meant to live this average life. I couldn't succeed. And so I went into the weekend like, okay, I'm open. I can't seem to change anything, so let's see what can happen. And the very first day, I realized how powerful I am. And I realized that I can do hard things and that I can succeed. And spending that whole weekend just reflecting and being surrounded by so many people that want you to feel powerful and they're there to support you, that was exactly what I needed. And this past week, I have felt so happy, and I feel like I've received so much clarity, and I am so happy, and I'm really excited to see what life has in store for me now.
Thank you. So Limitless produces some results that we would call miraculous, because your life is a miracle, and we get this one life to live. And some of us, we're stuck in a game called Stuck, and there are some of us that are absolutely committed to progressing and really discovering what would my life be without these ceilings, without these walls, without these bars that I've created. So when I talk about the secret of what is Limitless, it is a formula that we leverage to put the most important beliefs at the front of our brain that operate our life. And most of us operate our life today based on the experiences that we've had in life that have had the most profound effect on us. So basically, every negative emotional experience that you had in childhood, through your life, even up to this present time, has been an opportunity for you to enforce an idea. And whatever idea you latch onto at those key moments becomes your core operating system of your mind. They become your belief system. And Limitless is designed to go in and take a look at every single limiting belief that doesn't serve you. And then we use some very fun, is it okay to say fun processes? We do fun processes to basically extract those ideas and take them out of our minds, take them out of our range of possibilities. And instead, we put some new ideas in, new beliefs, homegrown, based on something positive and beautiful that says, I can have it all. Can all of you just try it on for a minute? I can have it all. Such a crazy notion when you feel stuck, but I'm telling you, come to Limitless. If you've been to Limitless, come back in January. It's going to be a very large one because we don't have one here in December with the Christmas month. And so January is one of the most powerful times of year because this is when it is time to take your life to the next level. And I will tell you that when you have done the work to get through enough of your limiting beliefs, you cannot help but have no ceiling. You cannot help but create your masterpiece life. You cannot help but create your limitless life. And tonight, you're going to get a chance to taste some of that. So do you want to bring up our guest? Should I bring up our guest? All right, sounds good. What we're going to do is we're going to start with a guest speaker that's going to take a few minutes, and we've asked them to speak about something that we believe will start this life-changing process for you this evening. Start basically loosen up the gravel in your mind and basically prepare that ground for something really beautiful as Gerald and I do some training on a limitless leap and a 30-day stretch to set you off on a journey to your greatness. Now, the person that we've invited to speak with us tonight, her name is Jacqueline Smith. And Jacqueline has been an amazing woman in the community for years. She's run for political office, and she is a huge influencer. And Jacqueline also happens to be inside our inner circle as one of our participants at the highest level that has made a 24-month commitment to eradicate every limiting belief in her life, and she is doing it. She plays hard. Please help me. Get on your feet. Please help me welcome to the front of the room, Jacqueline Smith.
Thanks. Is it working? Thank you. Could I have you grab that for me and stick it up there? Or I'll do it. Okay, great.
I'm going to take care of you.
All right, thank you. I'm really glad to be here. I have been studying something called the cycles of history for the last 15 years. And when I first saw this cycle, it changed my life in such an impactful way that I had to do something. And what I thought I had to do was go out and run for office. So I did. And then I learned, it doesn't work that way. We have to change our hearts. That's really where it has to start. So I want to teach you this cycle. I'm going to do this really quickly. This is a 2-hour lecture in 15 minutes. So here we go. And you can take notes. It's always good to take notes. Your brain actually does something when you take notes. So we're going to talk about a cycle in history called the saeculum. Okay, say it with me. Saeculum. Okay, so a saeculum is like a century, but it's not 100 years. It's about 80 to 120 years. Okay, so it's spelled like this. Saeculum. Can you Florida people see that all the way back there? Okay, so saeculum. So this is a cycle in history, and this history repeats over and over and over again. To the tune of about the last 3,000 years, this is repeated. So if we think that we're the ones that aren't going to be involved in this cycle, we're kidding ourselves. This is a very real cycle. It always starts with a founding of some kind. And it goes like this. The founding is when we create something new, and it's awesome sometimes. And then we go into an awakening. And these are kind of like seasons. So let's call the founding the spring. And the awakening the summer. There's a lot of growth during an awakening. And then we're going to come this way, and we're going to hit it's the fall, or the unraveling, is sometimes called. And then we go into crisis, or the winter, the really hard part. So each of these sections lasts about 20 to 30 years. So how many people are actually at the very last Limitless we had? Okay, a lot of you. So do you remember what happened while we were all there, just trying to change our lives? Do y'all know what happened? Paris was attacked. Okay, that was a really hard thing. It was the worst attack they've seen since World War II. That's not by chance. And the reason it isn't is because we are right now in the crisis portion of this cycle. So here's the thing. How many people here are between 20 and 40? Okay, a lot. How many are older than 40? I get to raise my hand. Okay, how many are younger than 20? We have a few? Okay. So this cycle, it doesn't matter how old you are, you only get one chance in your lifetime, whether you're 18 or 28 or 58 or 78. You get one chance to change history. One chance. And it comes around every 80 to 120 years. And you're at that moment right now. This crisis is going to be interesting. But I want you guys to think about this for a minute. What comes after the crisis? Always founding. So the founding is when you get to start over again. That's when something new is created. Did you know that during the unraveling is when the hero generation is born? That's kind of a cool term. Your kids are probably in the hero generation. And it's going to be them that help us create a new founding. So what do you want to create? Think about that for a minute. And this is going to last for about 100 years. So you're not just creating for yourself right now. You're creating for your kids and your grandkids and your great-grandkids. What do you want to create? Do you want to create same old, same old? Do you want to go into tyranny? Do you want to have the world in unrest? Or do you want to create some peace, some love, some understanding? There is always a founding after the crisis. And this is the best time ever to be alive. The best time during the crisis. Because you get to create something really amazing. Now, how far are we into this crisis? Some people are like, well, what does that look like? What does that mean? So just to give you some historical examples of crises that we've had in American history. I know we have people in this audience from all over the place, but it's easiest for me to do American history because it's easy to see. So the Revolutionary War was one of the crises that we had. Crises, is that how you'd say it? And then the next one was the Civil War. The one after that was actually the Great Depression. It wasn't World War II, it was the Great Depression. World War II kind of pulled us out of it, and we're there again. We're right there in history. You guys are like scaring me because I was like, oh, this is heavy. But this is amazing. I mean, what an awesome opportunity you have. This can seem kind of daunting to look at and to realize. But this is your chance to absolutely change the world. And you start by changing your heart. You know, Confucius, and I'm not going to quote him, but Confucius was in, I think, 600, was it 400 BC or 600 BC? Anyway, long time ago. He said that if you want to change the nation, you start by regulating your heart. You always start at your heart. And when you've regulated your heart, then you'll regulate your family. When you've regulated your family, then you can regulate your city and your state and your nation. It never starts at the top. I tried it that way. It didn't work so good. Our government and our society, and this is worldwide this time. That's the other thing that makes this a really unique cycle. This cycle's hit so many times, and like Europe will be on the cycle at some point, and America will be on the cycle, and they've never really matched until this one. Almost all the world is on this cycle at the exact same time. So this is the time in history when it's going to matter the very most what we create after this. And you've got to start thinking and talking and sharing what you're learning, how to break through these beliefs, how to create new things with your life, how to create new ideas and new connections, how to create community that actually cares and loves each other rather than fights and argues, and family members that you won't talk to somebody for 2 years because of something that happened at Thanksgiving dinner or whatever. We've just got to get past all this. And taking people to Limitless with you is one of those ways you can do that, because it really does just, it turns a key. It unlocks something in your brain that says, wow, I don't have to be like this anymore. I don't have to be the victim. I don't have to be angry. I don't have to blame the government or my parents or anybody. I get to choose and be responsible for myself. And that's powerful. That's powerfully impactful. How many of you have ever heard of this before? I know a few of you have in the room. Awesome. This is a really cool, there's a book out called The Fourth Turning. That's actually what this is called. This is the first turning, second, third, and fourth. And it's a really hard book to read, so but you can read it. It took me so long to get through that book. But this was an impactful class for me. And I went through every single place in history and looked at this. And I looked at it with my scriptures. I looked at it in history. I looked at it everywhere I could to see, does this really show up everywhere? And it does. And it's awesome because you can totally choose something new. The people that are born in the unraveling are called heroes. These are the kids that are born like 84-ish to about 2000 and 5 maybe 2008. How many of you know somebody in the hero generation? Okay, did you know you had heroes in your home? It's awesome. So how about the founding? Let's talk about the founding for a minute. The founding is people born from about, these are the people born in the 50s, clear to about 1964. How many people are in that generation? Okay, you know what you guys are called? This is awesome. You're called the prophet generation. That's kind of cool. Okay, so the prophet generation, you can see what's coming. You can see it, and you can't figure out why nobody's listening to you, but you can see it. Okay? The awakening. These are called nomads. How many of you were born between 64 and 84? Okay, so tell me if this fits you guys. You don't fit in, the world doesn't make sense, you move a lot, you change jobs a lot, you just can't figure out why nobody can realize that the world does not make sense. But it doesn't make sense. You were trying to tell your parents that school was really hard and there were drugs or there was this going on and that going on. They're like, oh, it's a good place. You should have lived during World War II and when we had the Depression. You've got it good. And you're like, wait, no, you're not hearing me. Did you feel like that? That's how the nomads usually feel. And in the crisis, we actually have the artist generation that's born. The artist generation tends to write music, write poetry, paint pictures, create, they take photographs. They see things and they want to document it somehow to the world. And sometimes they document the good stuff and sometimes they document the negative stuff, but they're documenters. They want to share that message. So here's the interesting thing. The prophet generation and the nomad generation get together, and sorry, but they usually start a big fat war, and the hero generation fights it. So my question to you is, I really hope we don't go to war because we don't necessarily have to, but if during this crisis you are a beacon of light to other people, and you are helping people feel safe and secure in themselves, and they're recognizing that there's good in this world, and they're taking off those glasses of negativity, and they're putting on those glasses of hope and love. Can you change that? Can you change the world for the better? Can you create something in the next founding that you want your children and your grandchildren and your great-grandchildren to have? I do. That's my hope, is that we can change the world by changing our hearts and then sharing what we've learned. This matters. What we're doing here matters. I have seen so many people go through such amazing changes through this process. And I'm amazed at just that it just unlocks their brains and they wake up and they realize they can make a difference. I would like to see everybody here find at least 5 people, and everybody online, at least 5 people in your life that you think is ready to change. And you bring them to January's Limitless, because it's going to rock, because every single one's gotten better. And let's change. Let's change this one person at a time. But I want you to bring 5. But let's change it one person at a time. Change their hearts. Thanks, you guys.
Friends, please give it up. Thank you so much.
One more big round of applause for Jacqueline.
Just everyone watch Gerald dress.
So as Jacqueline was talking, it reminded me of a quote that I think is super powerful. And this quote says this: in seasons of change, just by a show of hands, how many of you agree we're in a season of change right now? How many of you are in your life going through a space of transition or transformation? Awesome. Just look around the room, like hold your hands up, right? Just notice, like our lives are changing fast. And how many of you, just by a show of hands, notice as a country, there's a lot of things changing? As a world, there's a lot of things changing. We're in a time of crazy change. And change is happening faster now than it's ever happened in history. In seasons of change, the learners will inherit the earth, while the learned will find themselves beautifully equipped to deal with a world that no longer exists. There are so many people that go to college and they think that's the education they need to succeed, only to find 3 years later that what they learned in college is obsolete. Limitless is about creating a culture of change, a culture of learning, a culture that is committed to constant and never-ending improvement. You must be the change you wish to see in the world. You know, when Gandhi said that, what I believe he was saying wasn't that you're going to change the world by changing you. You're going to impact the world, definitely. But how many of you have noticed that the moment you create change in your life, you begin to experience the world entirely different, right? And I love watching this. I love people stepping in, Amy, just like you're talking about. And can we get the microphone real quick? So, Amy, I want you to share how you see the world differently, like what's changed in your world. Go ahead and stand up real quick. And Amy, I just have so much, I just love and appreciation as I acknowledge the journey that you've been on and the amazing transformation that you've been through. Is it okay if I share a little bit about what you shared on Facebook? Because this to me was a powerful example of how changing our world really looks. So she shared on Facebook, actually, will you just share like what you shared on Facebook? And there was a specific quote that like really deeply impacted me. But would you be willing to share like how your world shifted and how you experience the world differently because of what you've learned?
So like I mentioned before, when I was 18, I had something happen to me. A villain showed up in my life, and it changed my world. I didn't know all the ways that it had impacted my life, but it set me on a course. I set myself on a course where I put myself in an abusive, dysfunctional marriage. And coming to Limitless, going through some different changes, this last Limitless really, and I felt like I finally got rid of all of that. I know I did, because it's not even there anymore for me. But I came back. So this is something that I feel like a lot of people don't realize, is that you come to an event that is life-changing. You feel like it is. You had all these breakthroughs, and you feel like, oh my gosh, I'm amazing. I can go back to life, and I can do all these new things. But then you go back home, and you go back to your old life, and your old life doesn't know that you've changed. And so the things in your old life are still there. And so I went back to my old life, and I decided, it was still there, but it wasn't my life anymore. And so I made some big changes, went through a divorce, and I had an interaction with my ex-husband. And in that interaction, he was showing up in his broken self. And he was intentionally trying to hurt me, trying to demean me with his words. And it was a miracle for me, because I was able to step back from it all. I was able to realize that the words that he was saying weren't about me. They were about how he felt about himself. And I was able to feel love for that little boy that I know was trapped inside of him. And I was able to know that what he was saying about me wasn't true, because I know who I am. He doesn't know who I am, but I know who I am. And that's really the only thing that matters. And what I realized from that interaction was that when you choose to show up as a whole person, you don't allow the broken pieces of others to cut you. And that was, for me, one of the biggest things.
So powerful. I remember reading that. I was like, wow, that is so profound. When we show up as a whole person, we don't allow the broken pieces of others to cut us, right? And ultimately, other people show up in our life either with love or in a call for love, right? When they're acting out in a way to hurt us, it's simply the broken parts of them that are being expressed, seeking for love, right? And for you, as you create this change in yourself, like, how do you see the world differently?
Oh my gosh. everything, like I don't even feel like my eyes are the same that they were in September. Like I don't know if that is real, but I feel like I have different eyes because it really every single day I find this is what I like to say about myself is I'm realistic. I expect miracles, and every day miracles show up in my life. Like, and it's not even, people think that miracles are this some, abstract, crazy, you have to win the lottery for it to be a miracle. My miracle the other day was that I discovered a light in my car. I didn't even know it was there. like seriously, like I look for miracles and they always show up in my life. And so and when little tendrils of my past do show up, I'm able to look at it and say, okay, what is something that I need to learn here? Because as long as I learn the lesson, it doesn't need to keep showing up. And so that's
so profound. Give her a big round of applause. Thank you. So as you are going through your personal transitions and transformations in your life, as you're going through your own personal crises, this is the power, like when you embrace the change, when you work on you becoming a different person, then your entire world has to conform to those changes you're making. This is at the heart of Limitless. We create this transformation from within. We change our internal blueprint, and then we can experience the breakthroughs long term. There's a storm that's coming. And for many of you, you're already experiencing parts of those storms. And I'm not here to tell you what the future is going to look like, but how many of you know that there's some things coming, right? We all feel it, we all know it, and it's so easy for us to be ignorant. But now is the time to prepare. Now is the time to change ourselves, to be the type of leaders that can manage and lead this country into whatever transformation comes. The breakdown always precedes the breakthrough. And that's what happens in our life, and everything that you're learning within Limitless is to give you tools to navigate that change and transformation in a healthy way. To navigate it where you can stand in your personal power regardless of what storms show up. So you can always stand as the eye in the center of the storm. This, for me, is like the real call. This is the reason why this tribe is here. Because how many of you know that as you're navigating this transformation in your own life, as you're navigating this change and as you're going through the crises that are here and will come, how many of you know that you need a tribe there to support you, right? And this is what this tribe's for, to help us navigate our immediate crises right now, but then to really help us so that we have the power, the tools, the support to navigate those in the future. And that's why I'm so passionate about this change happening through these micro experiences we call the limitless leaps and limitless challenges.
There's a little challenge when you're running an event with no script. It requires mental telepathy or an awkward look. That's my cue. So let me ask this. Before we talk about the limitless leaps, and how many of you, by the way, in this room are engaged in a 30-day limitless leap? Put your hands up. Look at that. Whoa, this is amazing. So this room is filled with greatness. There's something I like to do to prepare the soil before I actually plant something in that fertile garden and plant an intentional new belief. I consider myself a gardener. Got 2 green thumbs. And I go into the recesses of my mind, and I'm looking for the plants that produce rotten fruit, and what do we do with them? We rip them out, we hack them, we toss them, but what do we do with the beautiful fertile soil? We are going to plant something new. So I'm looking right now for someone here in this room that's willing to take a moment, have a little bit of a stretch, and go through the process that we call belief breakthrough. And the process of belief breakthrough is someone volunteering. In a moment, I'll ask you to put your hand up. I'm going to select someone to come to the front of the room. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get you grounded and simply ask, what isn't working for you in your life? We're going to take a look at why you have that. We're going to look at where that comes from. We are going to rip it out of the ground if you don't like it and the results it's producing. And then we're going to plant something brand new. And personally, after I had gone through this process 2,000 times, I found that I had the ability to captain my ship. I found that I could manipulate the universe to start producing the wealth that I wanted. It's when my body, after a decade of trying, finally shifted for me. It's when my marriage started growing in amazing, unfathomable ways that I thought would never happen. And so I'm going to ask someone that is willing to be vulnerable and share. And in that vulnerability, I'm not going to invite you to share anything that you would not feel comfortable sharing, because you are at choice. But I am looking for someone who is willing to be vulnerable. I am looking for someone that is willing to look at something in their life that isn't working and that wants to know how to break through that ceiling and produce a new result. So, close your eyes. Take a deep breath in. And I'm just going to ask a simple question. Is there someone here with us tonight that is willing to go through a breakthrough process and be vulnerable? All right, friends, please help me welcome Susan to the front of the stage. Yes, you. I'm going to invite you up here. And I'm going to get a microphone for you, which is right there on the stage. Perfect. Everyone, one more time, give Susan a huge round of applause. Awesome.
I wasn't expecting that.
You weren't expecting that? That when you put your hand up that you were volunteering?
I know that you were going to pick me. That's great. I'm excited.
You're thrilled, aren't you?
I am.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, so I don't mind making a mess. My wife's like, what? Oracle. All right. So close your eyes.
Okay.
Deep breath in. Number one limiting belief that comes up for you when you have the thought, I'm not getting what I want out of life.
Finances.
Awesome. So we're going to talk about finances. Number one limiting belief that comes up for you when I say finances.
I'm not good enough.
Great. First memory that comes up for you when you have the thought, I'm not good enough.
I'm little.
Okay. Maybe how old? You can guess.
About 6.
Okay. And is this something you're comfortable sharing?
I really have kind of a blank in my mind. It's not, and I can just see myself being little, and there's something about that.
All right. So stick with it for a minute. 6 years
Okay,
old.
Okay.
You're little. And what's happening?
I'm alone.
Okay.
Outside. Summer.
You're alone, outside, summer. What you
Outside
doing?
in the summer.
What's this little girl doing?
I'm playing, and I'm all alone. There's nobody there. Nobody's at my house. Nobody.
So as you are playing and you have this concept, I am completely alone, what did you decide about yourself?
That I wasn't good enough to play with.
Yeah. Children are amazing. Incredible observers, horrible interpreters. And so 6 years old, do we have like a massively developed cerebellum yet? Nope, we don't have rational reasoning yet. We don't have abstract thought. None of those things have kicked in yet. So we just got a sweet little 6-year-old that observes she's alone and she's interpreting her experience. And because no one is there to play with her outside, the conclusion that she chose to come to is,
I'm not good enough to play with.
I'm not good enough to play with. Now, by the way, how powerful is the thought of a 6-year-old? How powerful is the faith of a child? Oh, yeah. Here's the interesting thing, Susan, about our thoughts, about all of our thoughts, is that the crazy thing is that whatever we're willing to believe, we're going to manifest. So, $18,792. I bet I can double that. And then what happened? I doubled it. Fast forward 5 years. There's no way I'm going to double that. What happened?
I did.
Man, my beliefs that I choose in my head become my self-fulfilling. It's amazing. So, like I say, be careful of what you say, be careful of what you think. But then again, we've got these tiny little children that have these undeveloped brains. They don't have any of these tools and resources. And Susan, ideas like that, most of the decisions for your entire life were made before you arrived at adulthood. And that's why we hit ceiling after ceiling after ceiling. Unless we can go back and make a different choice. Belief breakthrough is all about choice. It's all about what?
Choice.
So we have a choice. The choice is, I'm not good enough to play with. Now, as an adult woman, later in life, what evidence have you gathered that you can now see that you are alone and that you're not good enough for people to play with you? How does that show up?
It shows up in, like, with my work. I'm not good enough to earn more money.
Okay.
I'm not good enough to have, well, I'm thinking of, like, my marriage. Well, I don't, I'm not married anymore. So I'm not good at,
are you alone right now?
Yeah,
so
I'm
not
totally
good enough,
alone.
I'm not good enough to what?
To be married and to have, to play with.
Good. You're not good enough to play with? You're not good enough to what else?
I'm not good enough to generate income for myself. I know we've already put money up there, but that just really is coming to my mind that I'm not good enough. I wasn't good enough to finish college. I mean, I chose not to, but apparently there's something there with that.
Awesome. What else comes up for you when you have the thought, I'm not good enough? I'm not good enough to what else?
I'm not good enough to create because I'm all by myself. Boy, that alone thing is a bummer. And oh my gosh.
We just aimed the spotlight right there. Light bulb.
I have this belief that I have to do things on my own, that I have to personally, I can't ask for help. I have to do things all by myself.
Yeah. How many of you have this solo approach to life mindset? Like, get out of my way. I will do this. I got this. If you want something done right, watch me work. How many of you do that? Right? Okay. So you're not alone here. By the way, how many of you share this idea you're not good enough? Put your hands up. It's totally not alone. How many of you feel like I must not be good enough to produce more income? You ever felt that way? Not good enough to be married? Can anyone? We got a few people that can relate to that, even the young unmarried man over there. All right?
Okay.
Yeah. So here's the cool thing about these limiting beliefs. And the reason why I'm having you raise your hands is because for you, this is emotional. Right? I mean, there's a 6-year-old girl that made this decision. I'm not good enough to play with. I don't have playmates. And because you make that decision, you got to make the rest of your life make sense. So now you got to make sure I'm not good enough and that I'm alone shows up in my marriage, so I don't have one anymore, shows up in my finances, shows up in my body, shows up everywhere. Because you've got to be right because you've made the choice that you got to be alone. Man, do you think little 6-year-olds would make such crazy decisions if they knew the consequences? Are there consequences to our choices? Yeah, massive. Now, I got news for you. I got good news for you.
Oh, good. I'm stunned right now.
I got news for you.
Okay.
You got yourself in this mess. Like, you were powerful enough, even as an unconscious 6-year-old, to arrive at this erroneous notion that I'm not good enough for anyone to play with, because in this moment I become aware, I don't see people. Must be because I'm not good enough to play with. If you're powerful enough as a 6-year-old to produce all of this, then you're also powerful to what?
Change it.
And Gerald says that we're here to create a revolution of what?
Change.
And this tribe is about creating what?
Change.
And tonight is about dedicating each other in positive what?
Change.
Man, I'm going to tell you right now that we have to change. Change is the only way that you can get actually where you want to go. But not unless you make the right kind of change. So a decision was made. I'm all alone. I'm not good enough for people to play with me. Is it serving you?
No.
Right? What do you think it'll produce 5 years from now?
Same thing.
More loneliness?
Yeah.
Right. Do you want more
Have to be-
loneliness?
No.
How many more years, how many more months, how many more days would you like to go being alone?
No.
She doesn't realize she's here with a room full of people. She wants to feel very alone. Doesn't even know why. So, what I like to do when I find a choice that doesn't work for me is I like to look at it, I like to evaluate it, and then I like to ask myself, is this something I want to rip out of the garden? And do I want to create any thought? And this is something you want to rip out of the garden?
Yeah.
Great. So we now need to replace that spot of land with something different about how you want to view the world. Instead of I'm alone and nobody plays with me, what's a different option?
I have lots of friends, and I play with others all the time.
Awesome. That was pretty good, wasn't it? Yeah.
You're my friends.
Yeah. She's starting to realize it. Yeah. Let me ask some of you. I'm gonna steal this for a second. Just gonna give her a couple other ideas, because I don't always like to just gravitate to the very first idea that comes up, because this is a really important moment of inception. I'm gonna replace one idea for another idea, and sometimes we replace a bad idea for an okay idea. So I want to nail it. I want to get it just right. How many of you got some other ideas for Susan before she makes such a big, important decision? Bree?
I love me. I know who I am.
You know, that's a great one, Bree. You know what's so great about that? It's because Susan was saying, there's always people everywhere for me to play with. And I just want to ask, will that always be true? No. Your happiness with that idea is contingent on having what? Other people. So the idea is that alone is bad, with others is good, but don't we sometimes have moments where we're alone? Yep. Dude, I don't have a his and hers toilet. My bathroom time is me alone time, right? I'm just saying there's going to be times in life when we're alone, even for the brief moments. So this idea that you need others for you to feel good, instead there's this idea that being alone is somehow sad or means that you're not good enough. But what if you could be totally happy, like Bree said, when you were alone? What if being alone wasn't a bad thing? Is that a valid idea to contemplate? Yes. Just one. We've got another one coming on down here. You had an idea for her?
I'm a people magnet. I love people. They love me. We're always happy together.
There's some ideas right there. Awesome. I like it. What else?
I am always connected.
Wow, there's a good one. Always connected. Sherry?
I create deep, meaningful connection with myself, my God, and others.
Ooh, that's a clapper. I like that one. Take that one. Very good.
I stand in my greatness and I surround myself with greatness.
Wow, there's another one. Wow, look at all the different, it's like all these flavors. It's like Baskin Robbins. I'm sorry, Ben & Jerry's. There was another hand right here. Last two.
I am never truly alone.
Oh, I'm never truly alone because I'm always got me. All right. I like that.
I enjoy quality time with myself.
All right. Yeah, I can actually enjoy my time when I'm with others, when I'm with home. My happiness is not contingent on my geographical proximity to other people. Is that limiting? It's like, oh, I'm totally happy as long as I'm with people. But the moment I'm not, it means I'm not good enough. And that's what's happening. So, did you get some other ideas?
Yeah, I thought those was great. Thank you.
Well, that's pretty good. So, what do you like? Take this microphone again.
Okay. First, I want to mention when I raised my hand, I thought I was good enough to be able to come up here. That just clicked when yeah.
She's totally good enough to be up here, isn't she?
Wow.
Awesome teacher. Awesome. How many of you are learning something from her? Yeah, we're basking in your greatness right now. We're now we're at the cool part. Now it's like, okay, totally isolated the idea that doesn't serve me that I've had for many years.
Time.
Ripped it out of the garden, but now I need a replacement. What's your favorite replacement?
I am connected with myself in my greatness, and I love being with people. I love being by myself, and I can create anything I choose.
Wow, that's awesome. Wow, that's totally epic.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I like the smile on your face.
And I'm worth it.
All right, so now here's what I'm going to do. You are totally worth it. So now here's what we're going to do. I'm just going to share with you the formula for change. We've got to anchor in an emotional experience with the new idea. This is why it stuck the first time. 6-year-old, can't see anyone, I'm alone, sadness creeps in, idea, not good enough. Boom. We got a big belief. It's right here. It's following me wherever I go. It's coloring my lens. So here's what I want to do. I want to give you the gift of actually anchoring this in a more powerful, emotional way. Are you open to that?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to invite you to close your eyes, and I'm going to invite you to stand up. And I need a mosh pit right here. What that means is hurry, come on up here. You go ahead and close your eyes, ground, get yourself connected, and be thinking about this turnaround. Be thinking about this new choice that you love. Whose life?
Mine.
I love my life when I'm with people and when I'm by myself, right?
Right.
Okay, so you got this new idea. So here's what we're going to do. We've just got the room. You are surrounded by people that have stood up out of their seats, and they're here to show up for who?
Me.
How amazing. And in a moment, I'm going to ask you to open your eyes. And when I ask you to open your eyes, this is your private concert. And all of these people are here to witness you in your absolute brilliance. They are here because they know that you are going to proclaim as loud as you possibly can with as much conviction, just like you would as the rock star of your own concert, that you love your life, that everything goes your way, that you're never alone, that your life is filled with people, that you love being alone, you love being with people, all of these new ideas. And I'm going to tell you right now that if you do this with the proper energy, you are going to elicit a response. And I don't want you to see it, I just want you to hear it. When you are done sharing this powerful message, which all of these people have shown up to hear from you, the response that you're going to get sounds like this. But I got news for you. If they cannot feel it, if they can't feel you emotionally anchoring in this new idea, then the response you're going to get is this.
Zero.
All right.
Okay.
You with me, Susan?
Yeah.
So how many opportunities am I going to give you right now?
One.
Because we got other stuff to cover tonight.
Yeah.
So in life, we get opportunities to show up big. I'm not going to give you 20 tries. I love you so much, I'm not going to give you 2 tries. I'm going to give you how many?
1.
So with this one opportunity, when we have one life to live, how do you want to show up?
Big!
So are you ready to show up as big as you possibly can?
Yeah.
Okay, so as your eyes are closed, I want you to imagine yourself that your energy is growing 10 times bigger, 100 times bigger. You're feeling yourself strong, filled with energy, filled with love, filled with light. Everything is going your way. These people have shown up, and in a moment, it's time to open your eyes, and it's time to declare, because you got the one time, one life, one opportunity. Open your eyes, declare it.
I show up for myself. I love my life. I am brilliant. I have greatness. I love you. I love being by myself. I love being with you. I'm okay by myself. I'm good enough. I have money comes too easily. I have plenty of friends. I play big.
And just feel that for a moment. And right now, allow that 6-year-old to look up, playing in the dirt, and sing that she is surrounded with everything that she needs. That when she's alone or when she's with other people, that she chooses to love her life, that she chooses to embrace who she is, and she is always good enough. How often?
Always.
She is always good enough. Friends, please get up for Susan. You're very welcome. All right, as you're making your way back to your seats, Gerald's going to cue up really the core message here of the evening.
One more big round of applause for Susan. So I want you to think of what now changes in Susan's life as she starts operating from this new belief system. When we clear out from our garden all those rotten weeds and those roots of the fruit that we planted a long time ago that do not serve, and start planting these new seeds, with the new seeds of I'm good enough, that I deserve love, that I love my life, what changes in Susan's world from now, right? Everything, right? Are you excited about that? Are you so excited? Oh my gosh! Woo! It's so powerful because on one hand, it's so simple, right? It's so simple how our brain works, how our mind works. But we're not taught these things in school. How many of you realize that you weren't taught these things in school? Right? We're not taught how to live productive and fulfilling lives. And really, when we learn how to align our beliefs with the results that we want to have, then the choices to create that become easy. The choices you'll make now with this new paradigm, this new belief that says, I am good enough, I deserve love, I deserve connection, I'm always surrounded, like the world you will see will fundamentally be different. And the Susan that we see will be entirely different because that Susan is ready to shine. Give her a big round of applause. Yeah. So really, this entire journey is about creating this meaningful and sustainable change. And that change happens by shifting our paradigm, shifting our beliefs, and making sure that our choices should show up in a powerful way. And so one of the experiences that we are focusing on is taking this concept of limitless and applying it into real life. What life? Real life, so that real results show up. So that the life that you are experiencing 30 days from now, 60 days, 90 days, 120 days, a year from now will be more in alignment with the life that you are meant to live. And so one of the things that we're going to be focusing on is this idea of a limitless leap. And I want Wileen to stand up and share a little bit about the vision of why these 30-day challenges are so powerful for creating sustainable and lasting change in our life, and how much can change in someone's life when they focus on 30-day chunk at a time. Ladies and gentlemen, Ms. Wileen.
I am really excited about this new concept that we're presenting tonight and that we presented at Limitless last weekend called the Limitless Leap. And one of the things that I think is so powerful about it is the idea that you are proclaiming it, that you're publicly announcing what your limitless leap is. Because sometimes we like to hide and we're like, yeah, I would love to get that done. I'm not going to tell anybody just in case I don't do it. But this gives you an opportunity to show up for yourself and to share that in a really powerful way tonight. And so everybody here and everybody online knows that you're doing it. And everybody knows what your deadline is, December 15th, because that's when our grand reveal is. So another part of that is that you've got a whole room full of accountability partners that are going to keep in touch with you all throughout that whole 30 days. And some of you are going to have very similar goals that you're working for. You know, some of you will be working on health goals. Some of you will be working on relationship goals, whatever. And so as you hear what these leaps are tonight, you can kind of grab onto those people who have similar leaps, and then you'll have running partners. You'll have people that are wanting to do the same thing that you are. The other thing that I think is really powerful about this is it is 30 days. So there's some things that are pretty easy to do in 30 days. And would you agree there's other things that it's a stretch to accomplish in 30 days? And that's what we want you to do. We want you to pick something that is doable, but is really a stretch, that kind of scares you a little bit. And maybe you have a goal that the ultimate is going to take you 6 months. So you could do this every 30 days, and you get to set milestones for what you want to accomplish. And your tribe, everybody here, is going to show up for you every single 30 days and watch your progress. And that grand reveal that we have in 30 days on December 15th is going to be an epic party with red carpet, paparazzi, everybody here showing up for you to applaud for you and to cheer and to celebrate for you for the stars that you really are. And anyway, those are some things that I am really excited about. And I'm going to actually proclaim mine right now. Oh, I just got butterflies, really. Woo! So I've had a book inside of me for about a year. And I keep saying I'm going to write this book. I have had daily, I do a meditation every day, and I've had daily downloads of divine tutoring. And I have this path that I've been documenting of being from a space of complete fear to a space of prosperity and alignment. And I have experienced 7 quantum leaps where actually the physiology of my body, the energy within my body, I've felt a total shift. And I have it documented. And so these quantum leaps are going into a book that is called Entrepreneur Ignition, 44 Days to Immovable Momentum. And it's not about starting a business, it's about preparing yourself to be an entrepreneur, for taking that leap from employee to employer. And I spoke at an event last night and shared my goal. And I pre-sold 3 copies of my new book. And I'm going to offer the same thing to anybody that would like to pre-purchase a copy for $20. I didn't bring them tonight, but I'll make sure I get a copy to you. I have a book that I am co-authored in, Entrepreneurs on Fire, Conversations with Visionary Leaders. And that is a $20 book. And so if you would like to pre-order a copy, I will give you a copy of that book, a signed copy of that book. And I'm going to create a video mentoring course with my new book as the basis for it. And if you'd like to pre-order a copy tonight, then you will get that for free. So, thanks, Rob.
So this powerful angel and the other angels that are part of Limitless, they were the ones that first inspired this idea. And the gentleman that actually was part of the inspiration was Mr. Gary Norris. Gary, will you come up here real quick? So Gary's accidentally stepped into the role of being the Limitless mascot.
Bring it on.
Yeah, he is Mr. Limitless himself, and we've, like, for all of us in the Limitless community, we've been so inspired with watching this man take on his courageous journey and seeing how fearlessly he's embraced change in his life. And I've known Gary for years, and he's always been a powerful inspiration. And seeing him step more into alignment with his power through taking charge of his body and really owning more of his power has been so inspiring for me. And it's been fun because every 30 days, every time I get to see him show up at these events and these experiences, like so much transformation has happened. So will you just share, Gary, for you, what your journey's been like, and why this idea of Limitless Leap is so relevant to people in creating change in their life?
Thank you very much. It really is about you making a decision for you. For me, that's what it took to finally take this step of, I'm choosing now, personally for me, to live. Whatever that leap or that goal is, commend Wileen. It's like Wileen when you can lead, right? Wileen's a great name, but leading is even better. To hear her say, I'm doing a book, to pre-sell her book at an event when she speaks and talks about it, and it's not even in existence yet physically, is freaking awesome. Congratulations. It really is awesome. It's the same thing I do when I look in the mirror, and I weighed 290 pounds on August 10th. And Chris and Gerald, they kind of helped me say to myself, I don't see 100 or 290 pounds when I look in the mirror. I see 180 pounds. And it's like your book that doesn't exist yet, but you know it's there. It does exist. It exists in your mind. And it's a decision. And so for me personally, my journey is now going into almost its 100th day, thereabouts. I think I hit 90 days on November 10th. And we're like 54 pounds lighter now than I was then, which is awesome. Just to proclaim my Limitless Leap for the 15th of December, it is, and this is amazing, and I shared this a little bit at Limitless last weekend, but my stretch in April is to do an ultra marathon. And for me, thank you, Chris. Yeah, for me, it's like a 33 miles where I intend to complete it for me. Running, jogging, walking, not crawling. I used to think that, but it's continuously progressing my journey of an ultra marathon. So by December 15th, my goal is to be able to know that within me, even if it's just on the treadmill, I can do a half marathon by December 15th, 13.2 miles, 13.1 miles. So that is my challenge for myself, but it's all I can say is just making a decision for yourself, not for your spouse, not for your parents, not for your boss, not for Chris, not for Gerald, not for one of the angels that work with you at a session at Limitless. It's a decision for yourself because you choose in. And when you connect with yourself in that regard, in that type of a power, you will achieve your goal because you believe in yourself. Thanks.
Awesome. Stay up there for just a second. So I want to take you back for a moment, that day, August 10th, when we were sitting around the table, and Gary was there. And Gary, up to that point, like, what did you try health-wise to lose weight?
Well, I've lost 15 pounds lots of times. I've even lost 25 pounds lots of times. I've gained back more than I've lost lots of times. It really was looking in and saying, every time I've ever done it, I had ulterior motives of maybe pleasing somebody else. But ultimately, I wasn't bought into it. And it's really what it came down to, is I wasn't sold on it myself.
Perfect. So I want to look at some of the ingredients that create massive change in our life. Because if you can kind of understand what's helped create this change and what's continuing to create this change in Gary, you'll understand what that recipe is in your own life. So the first key and the most important key is a decision.
Yep.
It's a decision that says, okay, this needs to stop now. This will change, and I'm committed to do whatever it takes to have this change happen. The second key is massive accountability. What type of accountability?
Massive.
Massive accountability, right? So for Gary, what that looked like is he had this entire peer group around him that was supporting him, And for Gary, in his challenge, I remember this very clearly. Like Chris says,
me too.
all right, come up, Gary. All right, you serious about this? You committed? And he was committed, right? You have to be committed. You have to be willing to do whatever it takes. And so for Gary, what that looked like is Chris led Gary to the front room, declared everything, and then took Gary outside, where Gary took off his shirt and showed everyone and got on the scale and said, this is how much I weigh, right? And I remember telling Gary at that time, I was like, congratulations, look at that scale. That is the heaviest you will ever weigh in your entire life.
Yeah.
Right there. Like, this is the moment the change happens. Like, if you've got a health goal, if you've got a money goal, whatever it is, the starting point, you'll never be back here again, because everything will change. And then from there, after you have this massive accountability, after you've declared it, then it's the support. Have you received some support for you in your journey?
Boy, have I. Everyone in this room, immense support.
So this ongoing support from your tribe, from coaches, from people that can be there to help you break through. And underneath it all is a change in belief. A change in what?
Belief.
He's had to see himself different. For the limitless leap that you're going to take on, it begins with you believing the results already happened before it's happened. At that dinner table, Gary made a decision about who he really was. And he stopped seeing himself as a 290-pound overweight man that could barely walk, that was losing his health, that was going to die early. He stopped seeing that version of him. That version of him died. And in its place was reborn, what?
A new me.
Which was, how much did he weigh?
180 pounds.
180 pounds. And this...
Jane and Tarzan.
This is the new image that he developed. So as we go through the process and defining and creating your limitless leap, you have to believe that you've already achieved it. Your new self-image has to be that you've already accomplished the result. Because when that's what you believe, then your actions will reflect it. So for you, as you've gone through this process, how often do you go to the gym?
Almost every day.
Was it hard at the beginning?
Physically, yes. Mentally, yes. In every single way, yes. Because my goal was 5 a.m.
And what's shifted now?
Now I actually look forward to it. And the funny thing is, when I show up at 5 a.m., anytime anyone else shows up, and there's a lot of different people that show up, and there's a lot of the same people that show up, and every single time they lift me. And a lot of them say, man, Gary, you're inspiring me. And I'm like, no, it's actually the other freaking way around. When you show up, you are inspiring me, and it's motivating me. And it is people that aren't even showing up there, but they're showing up at other places is a motivating thing to me. A man sent me a YouTube video today that he just emailed to me. And this is a very well-connected man in the world. And he said, I just saw the video of you peeling the shirt off, which was like 3 months ago. I saw Chris Crohn's post today about his income stream and in part talking about my weight loss. And he said, I'm here to tell you that you're inspiring me and I want to lose 25 pounds. And I texted him and said, is that something you're really committed to? And will you allow me to be your accountability partner? And I did to him exactly what you did to me. And I'm sending him a message tonight in fact, the steps we just talked about, making a decision and then having some major accountability. I'm sending that to him, and I'm asking him to let me be all in to help him be accountable and even let me put it on Facebook. We're not even Facebook friends. He has too many to let me in. So I've got to make part of this be, you got to delete someone to add me. And then I've got to spread this with my network, and you have to get it out and spread it with yours. Even though he speaks on stages around the world, he has to let everyone know what he wants to do. And I want him to just challenge it up for him. And I got 2 more things real quick. Another lady in Idaho whom I know, but I don't know well, she connected with me and asked for my cell phone number. So she, over Facebook, and I gave it to her. And then she is now texting me her daily stuff. She's lost 47.5 pounds. And it's because of she sees what we're doing with Limitless. She's not been to Limitless, but she's lost 47.5 pounds. And another guy in Jamaica, I think it was Jamaica, sent me a Facebook message and said, "You don't know me, but I just want you to know I saw your video. I'm in Jamaica. I bought a gym membership." I'm like, how cool is that? Those are the type of things that motivate me. And that's why everyone here that makes your limitless leap, whatever that is, financial, physical, emotional, spiritual, whatever it is, let everyone know about it. This is the purpose of this night tonight. And have accountability and let you inspire them, and then in return let everyone else inspire you.
So I want you to think about the ripple effect that Gary's had on so many lives. Who here personally has been touched by Gary's journey and inspired by it? Right?
Thank you.
And I want you to think how many lives will be inspired when you share your journey and you share your breakthroughs, and how many people will be impacted. And that's one of the reasons why we're having this special Christmas gala on the 15th, where you get to come, show up, bring all of the people that are part of your journey, and let's just celebrate. Who wants to celebrate? Right? Yeah. So on that night, we're going to have you dress up in style, dress to impress, and we're going to red carpet, everything. We're just going to make it a really special evening to really celebrate your success. But the key is, let people in your world know. Put it out there, declare yourself, and be bold in getting that accountability. And just by show of hands, how many of you know you're way more likely to follow through if you have a lot of people checking on you, a lot of people accountable, right?
Very true.
This is a beautiful thing about Facebook. You put it out there, you've got a lot of people that are counting on you to succeed. So once again, the components that are important: number one, to make a decision. Make what? Decision. Make a decision. Number two, to create the vision of your mind that you've already achieved it. That you've already what? Achieved it. Number three, you need to make sure that your beliefs align with the result that you want. You need to make sure your beliefs what? Align with the results you want. And then next, you need to create your massive action plan. Your what? Massive action plan. And then to get the accountability, the support, the team in your life that you need. So you need the team. You need the what? Team. And then you need to think about the people in your life that you want to surround yourself with, to celebrate with you, to be part of your journey, to really bring your tribe to participate. And so one more big round of applause for Gary Norris. Perfect. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to have our beautiful ladies back there hand out these pieces of paper. Will you hand out those flyers real quick? So what we're going to do is we're going to go through a process right now where you get to identify your own personal limitless leap. And then we're going to have an opportunity for you to share that. So
Gerald, can I just share one more thing?
Absolutely. So as we're handing these out, Wylene's going to share something. And then for you, right now, as you're sitting there, I want you to begin thinking about what is your leap as we go through this. All right? Go ahead.
I just want to give all of you guys a little bit of hope too, as far as staying on track with your leaps, because we senior angels got together and we're actually creating a system for you to follow, and we've been sending out in emails. Those of you who have been on the list, you've been getting your emails. I think we've sent out 3 or 4 already. If you're new to this and you want to get on that email list, come and grab me, and we'll make sure you get on there. But we're also going to be posting that on the Facebook page, on the Limitless Tribe Facebook page. So kind of like a shortened version of what you need to be doing today to keep moving.
Awesome. Big round of applause. All right, so hopefully you all have a pen. We're going to go through this process right now, and we're going to be really kind of exploring what this looks like. So once again, your limitless leap, it could be just simply a 30-day goal, a new talent you want to achieve, a new benchmark you want to reach, or you might have this bigger vision. So for Gary, it was this vision of losing 100 pounds, right? That's not going to happen in 30 days, without massive, massive surgery, So his was a much longer term goal, but the commitments happen in 30-day progresses, 30-day segments. So I really want you to think, which is the area in your life that you want to experience massive growth, massive transformation? What's that one area in your life that you want to set like a big goal. And a big goal should scare you. It should inspire you. It should sound a little crazy because it's going to require you to do things different than you've done in the past. So what is an area in your life that you really want to change? What's your goal? And so as you identify the big goal, then we break it down into, okay, what's your 30-day commitment? So with a 30-day commitment, we want you to write it in a way as though it's already happened. So we want you to imagine that you're standing on stage and say, oh my gosh, in the last 30 days, I accomplished this. And to write it, to believe it, to feel it as though it's already happened. Whatever the mind of man can conceive and believe, it can achieve, right? But the belief comes first. So plant the idea that it's already happened. So we're going to have a couple of you shout out some ideas of types of limitless leaps. And for those of you that are joining online, there's a link underneath the video on limitlesstribe.org where you can actually download this form. So you'll see the thing that says Limitless Leap. Click that link and you'll be able to download the PDF, so you'll be able to work on this as well. So for these different areas in our life, you may have a health goal that you're working on, you might have a financial goal that you're working on, a relationship goal, or maybe there's some new talent or some new skill that you want to develop over the next 30 days. Let's really kind of explore what these different ones would look like. So in terms of a health leap, a health goal, a health challenge, what would that look like? What are some examples? Weight loss, okay? For instance, losing a specific amount of weight. What's another limitless leap type of goal?
Exercise program and
Okay, to be engaged in an exercise program, to do P90X for 30 days straight, or to be immersed in a specific exercise program for a certain amount of time. What else?
de-stressing, like a daily meditation.
Okay, daily meditation. So maybe your goal is to spend 20 minutes every day in meditation for the next 30 days. What else?
Double your income.
Okay, so yeah, we'll get into income, but absolutely, like really stretching yourself income-wise. Other health goals specifically right now? Improving your sleep, right? Really making sure that you take care of your sleep. What other goals?
Loving who you are, where you're at right now, so that you can.
Okay. So the goal with this limitless sleep is you want to have it incredibly measurable. You want to have a very specific way of tracking it. Loving ourselves more is a beautiful qualitative goal.
Sorry, that's a step to take. That's not my goal.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So in terms of the specific leap, once again, it could be, hey, I'm going to run my first half marathon, or I'm going to, for me, my 30-day physical leap is to, number one, to be able to do a backflip successfully without a wound across my face to demonstrate my effort. So that's one. And then second is I want to be able to do 30 pull-ups, right? That's my goal.
Pull-ups? Oh, those are hard.
30, yeah, absolutely. Like it's going to stretch me, but it's going to push me. And I'm going to do the backflip on stage. Okay? So David's my backflip mentor. I shouldn't point that out after like my war wound last week. Joshua David.
I thought it was Josh, yeah.
His last name's, do you say David? David. You just make David sound exotic, right? David, and Joshua David. So anyways, so he's my backflip mentor. So anyways, having a mentor is an important part of your team. Other specific health goals?
I have two. One is to perfect the splits.
To perfect the splits. Awesome. Fantastic.
The second one, I have a lump in my neck that I've seen like 4 specialists. They've all said, we'll have to do surgery. It's, and it's going to be gone.
It's going to be gone. She's eliminating a lump from her neck. Awesome. Perfect. All right, so if you have a health goal, make sure it's specific, make sure it's measurable, make sure it challenges you. Like really, what would scare you? Okay, so let's look at financial goals real quick. Like if you have a financial leaps, let's get some ideas of different types of leaps. What are some financial leaps?
I'm going to have
10 new clients paying full price. Awesome. What are other examples? We had over here double your income, right? So depending on what your income is, that may or may not be like a feasible goal for 30 days, and it totally is feasible for other people, right? Like, here's the deal with these leaps. You want to make sure that they're achievable. Like every once in a while, I'll see someone step into a goal-setting workshop or something. They've never had a business. They've never owned a business before. And you ask them what their goal is. In 30 days, I'm going to make $1 million. And I'm not here to tell you what's possible, what's not possible. But when someone sets a goal that's too far outside of anything they've experienced before, then oftentimes they set themselves up for disappointment. And psychologically, they beat themselves up because they don't achieve it. So make sure that you have an achievable goal that's going to stretch you. And here's my belief about it, though, is you can shoot for the stars or you can shoot for the moon. If you shoot for the stars, you're probably at least going to hit the moon. But if you shoot for the moon, you might not even get it out of the atmosphere, you know? So you might as well go big. And then if you don't quite reach it at the end of 30 days, guess what? You got a new 30 days right after that. Isn't that beautiful? Like, there's always another 30 days to make sure you keep making that progress. So for Gary, it might not have been realistic to say, I'm going to lose 100 pounds in 30 days. But how many pounds did you lose in the first 30 days? 30. He lost 30 pounds in the first 30 days, right? So that gave him a perfect place to begin the next 30 days. All right, so other specific financial goals.
Maybe a specific dollar amount you'd like to donate to your favorite charity.
Okay, a specific dollar amount you want to donate to a charity. What else?
Replace the income I get with my job doing something that I love or live my purpose.
All right, so replace the job income with referring people to Limitless, right? Yeah, doing what you love. Like what would it look like to start replacing that income? What else? Colleen? Okay, a certain dollar amount that you want to pay off, a certain amount that you want to save up. Maybe there's a certain thing that you wanted to buy. Maybe there's a specific vacation that you wanted to save up and go on. Okay, maybe it's like eliminating that debt altogether. Paul?
I want my house in complete order.
Okay. All right, yeah, maybe it's getting your taxes done. Maybe it's getting your finances in order. Maybe it's like getting things like cleaned up. Okay, so really think, like, if you have a financial leap, what's a specific thing that would be a huge stretch for you that would would change your life if you did it? All right, in terms of relationships, what are some examples of relationship type leaps? To get in a relationship?
Not a goal.
He's like, not a goal.
Oh, sorry, I wasn't raising my hand. That was just a phrase.
Whoa, yeah, all right.
You could plan a getaway with a spouse or even a best
Perfect. So maybe to take like a new honeymoon, right? Or to go on an experience together, to go for a weekend retreat. What else would be an example of a relationship goal? Don? Okay, take your child out on a date with me, right? What else? Not with me. I just want to make sure. Although I'm open to that too right now. Just kidding. Yeah. So this is like a beautiful thing that we've done with our kids is having like these weekly date nights with kids, right? And that's a beautiful experience, having that one-on-one time. A family vacation every month. Awesome. So really start doing that. And once again, 30 days. Like, what would that benchmark be in 30 days to go on a family vacation to experience that? What else?
My limitless leap is to prepare for my next pregnancy. So my pre-pregnancy plan.
Your
The big leap about it was that I was announcing it before I talked to my husband.
Husband, guess what? We're getting pregnant. Right? And I'm getting ready. Yeah, so it's beautiful. Right. Okay, yeah, maybe it's going in healing a relationship. Maybe that looks like a daily experience of like every day you're going to, tell your spouse something you appreciate about them. Or maybe every day you're going to reach out to someone that you care about, either through text or Facebook messages or email or phone call, and just tell them the greatness you see in them or how much you appreciate them. right? What if you spend like 10 minutes a day, 5 minutes a day, reaching out and intentionally building those relationships? So really think, like, what would that leap look like for you? What would change your life if you took it on for 30 days? So go ahead and right now, write what your limitless leap is within 30 days. I commit to, and write it in as though it's already happened. So within the last 30 days, I have, or I did this. Like, go ahead and write that down now. So for this next process, I'm actually going to invite someone to come up that feels like they've experienced a lot of blocks. Maybe they've had this goal in the past and they haven't been able to follow through. Is there anyone that would like to work on this? Awesome. So I'm going to have you come up. Yeah, what's your name again? Lynn Ann. Okay, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Lynn Ann. All right, so Lynn Ann, like, go ahead and share with us, like, you're on stage right now, 30 days from now, declare, like, what just happened over the last 30 days.
I got my real estate license. I passed the test. I was hired by an amazing brokerage, and I have my first listing.
Awesome. It's huge. That's awesome. All right, so one of the things that sometimes sabotages us is, in the past, have you tried to achieve this before?
Yeah, I've wanted to have my real estate license for years.
Okay, and so let's really look at, like, the past Lynn Ann and where she was at. So what were some of the beliefs that blocked you or limited you or kept you from being able to experience that in the past?
I'm a single mother. I have to work. I have no time to go to school. If I did, I know that I couldn't sell a house for at least 2 to 3 months, and then what would I do for income? I have 150 excuses as to why I couldn't do this.
Okay, perfect. So this section right here, the limiting beliefs that keep me from stopping these goals, these are all your excuses in the past, okay? This is all the story that you have that says, the reason I can't achieve this is, or the reason I haven't been able to achieve this is this, all right? So she's had some amazing stories about why she couldn't succeed in the past, right? What did she say? I can't because I'm a single mom.
I don't have time.
I don't have time. I don't have the money. If I try,
I'll fail.
I'm going to fail anyways. It's too risky. So all of these excuses. So for you, what do you feel like was the biggest limiting belief that blocked you?
The risk.
Okay, the risk. Okay.
The risk. Just not sure that I could provide for my family if I took that risk.
Okay. All right, perfect. All right, so how many of you can see how with this blueprint of beliefs in the past, how many of you can see it would have been hard for her to follow through and get her license? Right? It's impossible. She can't do it with those beliefs. Those beliefs are specifically designed to create the result that she's been getting, which is what?
Just exactly where I am. Just I wasn't doing anything to go for that dream.
Okay, perfect. So when does that change?
It's already changed.
Awesome, perfect. All right. So we're going to have you actually stand up on stage right now, because we're going to have you declare the new limitless beliefs that are going to make it so that this change is easy, that it's going to be so easy for you. Can you adjust that camera so that it's not, oh, there. Like it was showing down here, and it's just like, I don't think the people at home want to watch that. All right, so we're going to declare the new powerful beliefs that will make this so easy for you to achieve it. Like, it's done, all right? So I'm going to hold this paper, and I'm going to have you just stand in a powerful way. Just own that stage, because you are limitless, you are powerful, you are easily going to create this goal in your life. So Lynn Ann, who are you, and why is achieving this goal so easy for you?
Because I'm amazing. I'm ambitious. I'm accomplished. I am a go-getter. I am I'm going to be, I am the best real estate agent out there. I believe in honesty and truth and making sure that people's dreams come true. And that's my ambition and my goals, that I want to find people's homes that they are going to build their families in. And I want to be a part of that they can create amazing stories for their families and their kids. And I want to be a part of that. I'm just awesome.
Give her a big round of applause. Oh, come on, give her a big round of applause. Beautiful. So based on these new beliefs that you have, is creating this result, is it hard or is it easy?
It's so easy.
It's so easy. You so got this. Give her a big round of applause. Awesome.
And I'm just going to put it out there. If anybody needs to sell a home or buy a home, let me know.
There you go. Ladies and
By the
gentlemen.
24th, I will be licensed.
Is there anyone here that either needs to buy a home, sell a home, or know someone that does? Raise your hand. Awesome. So go ahead and contact her, okay? Because this is Utah's best real estate agent.
I also have a
right
year.
now in the making.
I want to be the rookie of the year for the best real estate agent by the end of the next year. So
Nice. I love it. Perfect. All right. Good job. So once again, with these new beliefs in place, creating success is easy. So go ahead and write down for you, what are the excuses, what are the beliefs that have held you back in the past, and then what's the turnaround? And the beautiful thing is with this work, you get to keep working on these turnarounds and reinforcing these beliefs. And anytime anything shows up in your life that discourages you, that shuts you down, just recognize it as a lie or limiting belief, and then turn around and make sure that you're aligning your life with these limitless beliefs. All right, so the next step is to create your massive action plan. So this is going to be something that we actually have you take home and work on and really craft out, what does your action plan look like? Because to be able to state the goal is one thing, but then there has to be a specific plan in place. And you know it's a plan because it's in your calendar. True commitments show up in two places, in your calendar and your checkbook, right? That's how you know what you're truly committed to. So if you're truly committed to it, it's going to get in your calendar because success is scheduled. Success is what? Scheduled. But you need to create the plan to be able to create the schedule. So right now, start thinking in your mind. Actually, just close down your eyes right now. Just close down your eyes for a moment, and I want you to imagine in your mind's eye right now that you're standing on stage 30 days from now having already accomplished this goal. You're declaring to your friends what you've accomplished and what you've done. And in your mind's eye, just feel how it feels, knowing that this goal was easy to accomplish. Now in this moment, I want you to imagine in your mind's eye that you're being carried back into the past over the last 30 days. And rewinding through what these 30 days have brought, I want you to see what are the actions that you were taking. What were the things that you did on a daily basis to make this goal happen? I want you to see yourself in your mind's eye doing those things. See how it feels to take those actions, to take those steps. And now in your mind's eye, I just want you to imagine that you're identifying what's a daily action that would make it so that this result would be so easy to accomplish. What would be a daily habit that you could put in your schedule every day to make sure that you are going to achieve this goal? So go ahead and open up your eyes right now and just write down whatever details come to your mind in terms of things that you need to make sure are in your action plan and what your daily commitment is to your success over the next 30 days. What is it that you're going to do on a daily basis to make sure that you've achieved this goal? So go ahead and take a moment right now and just identify what this plan is. All right. So your daily commitment, what is it? How is this going to show up in your life with different choices than you've made in the past? Our commitment is always showing up through our choices. All right, so the next section is identifying who is it that you want to have on your support team. Really think about who is it from your tribe that you want to have there. Are there coaches? Are there mentors that you want to hire to support you in that journey? We're going to have you finish this and keep working on this as you go home, but really identify who your core support team, who's your mastermind group, who are the people that can make sure that you follow through. So just go ahead and in your mind's eye, take a moment and think who is it that you want to have on your dream team as you're moving through this. And make it a commitment to reach out to them, to make sure that you connect with them. And it could be people within this room that you want to have in that group, or maybe it's, people within the tribe on Facebook that you want to connect with. So identify that. And then the last part is imagine yourself on December 15th, having achieved this goal. Who do you want there to celebrate with you? Who are you going to invite to that event to come celebrate your accomplishments, your progress? So I want you to start thinking in your mind, who are the people that you're going to have at that event with you? All right, perfect. So right now what we're going to do is let's just get a couple really quick shares of limitless leaps that you want to take on really quickly. Yeah. So we're going to get 3 or 4 shares, and then we're going to have each of you share with the person next to you.
So I just wanted to share what I found in my 3 days of applying some effort towards my limitless sleep. What has been really key for me that I hope you guys can use for yourselves. My limitless sleep was to replace my old job income by doing things that I love and living my purpose. And I just want to talk about the power of sharing that with the people in your life. When you announce that, it will drastically increase your results. Many of us are kind of doing this kind of on our own, and we are doing a good job of picking our support team, but announce it to everyone in your life, because within the last 3 days, I've quit my job, I've announced why I was doing it. I sent an email out to all the people that I work with why I'm quitting my job, and within the last 3 days, I've even changed my Instagram, which only has 500 followers, but I've defined the very things that I want to make income doing by putting that in my bio and putting a business email, and I've already generated a business proposal that I believe will go through for $2,000 as a performer in LA coming up here in January. Just from announcing that. I've also generated 3 different opportunities to teach as a trainer in the things that I enjoy doing within the last 3 days, because people have known that I'm doing this with my life. I've announced it to them.
That's huge. Awesome. I love it. All right, so we're going to get a couple more quick shares in just very, very quickly, 30 seconds or less. Like, what is your leap?
So I want to create an unbreakable blueprint in my neurological pathways, basically a habit that if I don't do it, my life just will feel super weird. And that blueprint is a habit of connecting with my higher self, with my divine self, my awesomeness. Seriously, I'm awesome. And with my creator. And I have a very specific regimen that I have mapped out to do that. So I don't know what I'm going to create in 30 days, but I'm super excited to see all the aspects of my life that are going to be blessed with that. So
awesome. All right, we're going to get 2 more shares here. Donna?
In trying to change my life, I decided to start moving more. And so about a month ago, I just started riding my daughter's old mountain bike. And a couple of days into that, decided I wanted to do a 100-mile bike ride. And so my goal is hopefully by my 51st birthday in August, I will be signed up for a 100-mile bike ride. And in that, I thought, crap, I need help doing this, and I manifested a personal trainer. And so in the last 3 weeks that I've had a personal trainer, I've realized body weight itself doesn't mean anything, because for the first time since high school, fat calipers touched my body. And that was horrible, but I realized if I went by the number on the scale, I would be pretty depressed because I've actually put weight on since I've started really exercising, but I've let go of 2 pounds of fat and put on 4 pounds of muscle. So, I've learned don't go by that, but because your body has to change. So my 30-day goal is to allow my body to shift, not just thinking in the terms of weight loss, but weight dispersal by 10 to 15 pounds.
Hi, I'm Sherry LeBaron, and my limitless leap is to put into action some things that I've talked about for a long time and put into use skills that I've had. I've worked with people for 30 years as a teacher, facilitator, and just a mentor, really, in a lot of ways, but I've never done that as a business. I've never thought that I was enough to do that and to charge people. And so I'm putting together a business. By December 15th, I'm going to have curriculum written for a couple workshops that I've also had downloads on and that I've talked about, but I've had a lot of excuses. I'm working on logos, website, etc. Mentor moments, I've got those written out, or I am writing them out, and a short presentation intro. By December 15th, all of it.
All right. I love it. I love it. So go ahead and turn to the person next to you real quick and share with them in 30 seconds or less what your limitless leap is. Ready, go. And for those of you online, go ahead and type it in the bar. What is your limitless leap going to be?
And go ahead and switch.
And that's the guy we're bringing to Hawaii.
We got leftovers.
Oh boy.
Well, I could still be.
And we have, I know of 2 Christmas parties before December 15th.
And maybe I'll use it as
4 different. So those are the limiting beliefs that are thrown in there.
What's the limiting belief? Leftovers and Christmas parties?
I did Thanksgiving leftovers and 2 Christmas parties, but then I also said,
All right, let's get eyes up here. Okay, friends, before we wrap up the evening. Hey, wait, first of all, who's excited about their leap? Can you see your leap being connected to a bigger movement and knowing I get to start doing something every day financially on my schedule? 30 days from now, I get to show up at my grand reveal and renew my leap for another 30 days. Can you imagine your life 12 months from now? Can you imagine 12 leaps under your belt? Can you imagine what will happen in your relationships, your health, your fitness, your finance, everything coming together? Who's excited? All right. Well, that's good because it's your life and you should be excited because you should be the one most excited about your life. All right, friends, to wrap up the evening, before we go into our final manifesto music, for those of you that don't know what that is, we're going to cue up the music in a moment. And when we do, we're going to give you some final words of inspiration based on what we've learned tonight from Susan, based on the words that we've learned from you going through your breakthroughs, and words that will help you crush your limitless leap. A couple of announcements on the way out. For those of you that are here with us as guests, the next 3-day Limitless event, we want to invite you to that. It's a $499 event that you can purchase here at Tribe Night for $69. And even online, you can go ahead and message in, and we can make sure we get you those tickets at $69. It'll be actually at the Provo Marriott across the street here on January 21st through the 23rd. And I want to tell you something. January is one of the most important months of the new year to go ahead and get really aligned with your goals. So there's going to be a focus at this Limitless on something we have not done before. We're not only going to be introducing new processes, but we're going to gear the training towards our formula for how you manifest the results that you want. This has never been shared before. It is a formula that has 9 components. I'm very, very thrilled about it, and it really is going to be an amazing Limitless experience. And so we want to invite you to do that. There's a flyer outside the room here that you can get your hands on to tell you a little bit more about that. And the last thing that I want to share with you is at the last Limitless, I shared with some people a little bit how I was able to retire at the age of 26, just a year after I graduated college. And I didn't take a lot of time to share that, but there's a lot of people who have been asking me questions. They've been super intrigued. And I have a very simple system for creating retirement within a 10-year time frame that you can certainly put the gas on and accelerate. And at my corporate office in Orem, we have an event that will be live streamed. There's a flyer for it. And if you'd like to join me, I'm going to actually share my story of how I produced that wealth in a very short period of time and have done it over and over again. And that will be at our corporate office tomorrow at 7 p.m., 6 p.m., and it will also be live streamed. And so we'll drop some information in the box there for you so that you can get the information on this flyer. All right. Would there be anyone interested in actually coming at 6 p.m. tomorrow and learning a little bit about that? You're more than welcome. We'll share what that looks like. All right. Are we ready to bring this event to a close? Have you been fed? Yes. It's time to go forth and rock your life. It's time to absolutely crush your limitless leap. So we're going to go ahead and get the music queued up right now, Ben.
And everyone on your feet.
Stand on up. And I want to invite you to take some of the words that we have heard tonight, and I'm going to give you an opportunity to repeat after me. Let these sink in. Just try them on for a minute. I love my life.
I love my life.
I do awesome when I'm alone.
I do awesome.
And when I'm with people. I'm important. I'm significant. And that's why I leap forward in faith. To my grand reveal, December 15th, where I get to show my results. This is my tribe. They hold me accountable. I hold me accountable. Because this is my life. I get to grow. Because this is my life. Because I'm limitless. Because I'm limitless. Because this is my life. And I achieve all my goals. Everything I set out to accomplish comes effortless and easily. Life goes my way. Because this is my life. Because that's my choice. And I love my life. I'm amazing. We're amazing. I crush my leap. I crush my goals. Because this is my life. And because I am limitless. Because I am limitless. Because I am limitless. Because I am limitless. Yes, you are. Have a wonderful evening.
And go ahead and post your Limitless Leap on the Facebook Tribe page. And go ahead and support each other, get together in accountability groups, and have some fun. We're excited to see the results.